just had a faint idea. I thought, well, perhaps I might be able to play one game of football with Melbourne. And
one thing that will never leave my memory is the first game running out for the Melbourne Football Club.
And just running down that race, with people, the crowd screaming and everyone behind you, it was just an awesome feeling, and I'll never forget that.
To come to Melbourne and see the Melbourne Football Club run around the MCG,
and it was just like floating on air. And
you played on the MCG, everybody wanted to be involved in the whole scene there.
I am playing at the most traditional club in this country, I think, without a doubt.
Melbourne Football Club had great tradition.
The oldest club and all this tradition.
Magnificent people. Be hard to beat anywhere.
It was a great honour to be asked down, and you're always pretty well aware of the history of the place.
Yes, it was the tradition club.
What had it been to play for the Melbourne Football Club during this era? I mean, how lucky can a man be?
And I certainly consider myself very fortunate to be part of Melbourne.
Well, Melbourne gave me an opportunity. For me, I owe a lot to the club.
It created some absolutely wonderful sporting memories.
I've started playing here. I want to finish my career here. I want to finish my career here.
It's a grand old flag. It's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we'll sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red.
Percy Beams. I played 213 games for Melbourne.
I played 166 games for Melbourne.
Noel McMahon, I played 175 games for the Melbourne Football Club between
Ian Ridley, I played 130 games for the Melbourne Football Club.
Bob Johnson, I played 159 games for Melbourne Football Club between the years.
And I played 204 senior games and kicked 295 goals for
Frank
the
Adams, I played 164 games and kicked 180 goals for the Melbourne Football Club between the years.
I played 183 games for the Melbourne Football
Barry
Club.
Burke played 175 games for the Melbourne Football Club between 1963.
Gary Hardiman, I played 226 games with the Melbourne Football Club.
Robert Flower, I played 272 games and kicked 315 goals for
Jim
the Melbourne
Steins,
Football
recruited
Club
from
between
Dublin.
1973.
I played 244
Gary Lyon. I've played 203 games and kicked 383 goals.
I've played 194 games and kicked 69 goals.
Anthony McDonald, I've played 19 games for the Melbourne
Shane
Football
Malone,
Club.
I played 22 games for the Melbourne Football Club, and I wear Guernsey number 22.
Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue. Keep your eye on the red and the blue.
In Melbourne's 140 years, there has been much to celebrate. A dozen premierships, a list of genuine footballing legends that stretch back into time. It's a club with a deep heritage, the deepest of all. In 1998, Melbourne faced one of the most challenging seasons in its proud and august history. From the ignominy of the wooden spoon in 1997 and the scars of the merger talks that had divided the club so bitterly, this would be a year unlike any other. Let's go on a whistle-stop tour beginning in September 97, as that dismal season was pushed into the background. Under the revitalised leadership of Joseph Gutnick, the Melbourne Football Club appointed Neil Danaher as senior coach. The one-time Essendon captain had known a tragic and injury-marred career. As a rookie AFL coach, his greatest challenges lay ahead.
I'm very excited, firstly, to be involved with such a great football club as Melbourne. It's one of the oldest football clubs in Australia and probably the world. So I'm really excited to be involved in the rebuilding process that's now in front of us. It's going to be a great challenge.
Everything about him was the right person for the job. I hope I'll say that in 2 years' time.
He would need players, and there could be no more promising recruit than Fremantle's Melbourne-bred Jeff White, the former AFL #1 draft pick.
I'm just happy it's all over. It was a tough decision, and the bottom line was that I wanted to play football at the Melbourne Football Club, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
The Demons were tempted by Eagles speedster Peter Matera, a 5-time All-Australian. They couldn't lure him from Perth.
I knew what I had to do. It was for myself and my family. It's one of those decisions I had to have a long think about, and it was a decision that I had to make. It took a long time, I know it did, but I'm just glad it's over.
Probably got a lot closer than we ever expected from the start. We got close enough for him to in fact indicate that his club of choice was Melbourne. Unfortunately, he changed his mind, but we respect his right to change his mind.
They would fill the key defence role by grabbing St Kilda's grand final fullback, Jamie Shanahan.
He'll add a lot to stiffening up our back line, and the boys down there know it's been pretty tough for 2 years, and Jamie will just add a lot of value to the whole side.
I told my 3-year-old son I was coming to Melbourne, and his first question was, where'd they finish on the ladder last year?
The side was taking shape. It would be a new leadership team on the field too. Gary Lyon stood down as skipper after 7 years of exemplary leadership. In would come another veteran, 31-year-old Todd Viney.
It hits home how much responsibility goes with it, and I've enjoyed it all. So it's not a decision I've certainly made lightly, but it's one that I think's in the best interest of the footy club, and from a somewhat selfish perspective, I guess, I'm hoping that it will help me prolong my footy career beyond this week and beyond this year maybe.
Melbourne's preparation was the talk of the AFL. Danaher had his boys schooled in his football philosophy. They were ready to take on a new season.
Danaher came on board and took us all to school for 5 weeks of intense schoolwork on how he saw the game of footy being played and team rules, etc. And at the time we thought it might have been a little bit too much, but in the end of the day, looking back, we can probably say that I think that grounding was why we got away to such a good start. The last thing he wanted was to get through halfway through the season, and then the boys say, well, yeah, I know what the game plan's about now, but already another year was wasted.
On the first Sunday in March, they would break new ground. Melbourne would play Sydney and the New Zealand capital Wellington in their first round Ansett Cup match. 7,800 saw the Demons come from behind at three-quarter time to win by 2 goals. The form of David Schwartz, a highlight.
Kick in by O'Brien. Roos fighting hard for possession, but he couldn't win it. Ragoni's hand pass in. Well, Woden, little stab pass, beautiful. And Schwartz is really coming into the game now. He'd back himself from there and has kicked it perfectly.
9 days later, they accommodated the Western Bulldogs. Again, the Demons' fitness telling as they kept the 1997 preliminary finalists goalless in the last quarter.
Now there is Mr. Ragoni saying that's what I can do.
Melbourne bowed out in the semis to St Kilda, but not before Jeff Farmer ran riot, kicking 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of the second quarter. These were not the performances of a side that finished last in 1997. Rank long hops for the 1998 flag. This would be a year in which the veterans of the side would play such a vital role, and the youngsters would respond.
Ambitions are reasonably modest early. All you want to do is play a game, so you can go and get a drink card at the tunnel. If you're perhaps your initial motivation, and then after a period of time you want to be an established player. You want to be able to say that, yeah, I'm a member of this team, week in, week out. And then you set yourself some loftier goals perhaps. It may be you want to play every game, maybe you want to finish high up in the best and fairest. And as time goes on, maybe state representation and best and fairest finishes and even all Australian jumpers come into reckoning. I reckon that's a fantastic thing.
This would be a year in which pride would be restored, a year in which the words of the grand old flag would reverberate around dressing rooms, around the nation, and the club began the long haul up the ladder.
It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue as we sing this song to you. Warwick Stand, should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
It had been the perfect pre-season preparation for Melbourne under its vibrant and new-look administration, but nothing had prepared Neil Danaher for the conditions in Perth. 32 degrees, sweltering, even after a long and hot summer on the track. The 18,000 die-hard Docker fans watched in horror as Melbourne opened confidently. The Demons missed chances in the first quarter, but still led by 15 points at quarter time.
Schwartz takes a very strong mark. As we said at the outset, the Dockers very short today. They'll struggle in the air, you would suspect. Off hands, Neats, the best recovery. Goes back, Sockers off the ground, gets a goal. Well done.
They would skip away in the second term before hitting the heat barrier. Not even the ice vests could cool things down.
Now under pressure. Stepping out, Viney, opportunity on the left, here's Neats. Oh, he went to go, he left the ball, he's come back again, he's on the left, he's done an inward, outward, and he's bounced it through.
Opportunity over the ball for Carroll, he comes again, still Carroll, knocks it forward for the Dockers. Fletcher's got the run of it, fell over. Fletcher bounces to his feet, sweeping hand pass, comes across to Toya. Bond is cruising past, he gives it to Bond now, hurriedly onto the boot. Dropped at centre half back, so an opportunity for Waterhouse, who was taken high. The Dockers work it forward. Callahan got it down towards the pocket. This is Hunter, turns, kicks, and gets a goal. And the Dockers coming on strong. Rigoni, his kick was smothered. It ricochets down towards half forward for the Dockers. Can they grab the lead? Callahan, Waterhouse, who got the last one, brilliantly done. Got rid of Seacamp, runs into an open goal. Dockers lead by a goal. How about that?
Fremantle belted home 9 straight goals and won by 23 points. Melbourne could only muster enough energy to kick a goal in time on in each of the last 2 quarters. It wasn't the start Danaher had hoped for. Far from it.
A late chance. Across, he's done it again, Smith. And now he should get a goal here now. He has.
Neats and Smith each kicked 2 goals. Schwartz, Neats and new skipper Todd Viney the best in a disappointing start to the year.
Coming from Melbourne, we were sort of in a big disadvantage. We had good pre-season form. Fremantle didn't have very good form at all. We were hoping to get away to a good start. It didn't happen. Basically, we stuck with them for the first quarter, and the heat was very extreme. Although we never used it as an excuse, I think now I can say that it was very trying conditions, and a lot of our players didn't cope with the heat.
The reigning wooden spooners against the Ansett Cup champions and AFL Premiership favourites. If ever there was a David and Goliath battle, it was this match in early April at the MCG. While North's Goliaths were kept out of the play early on, Melbourne's Davids, Neats and Schwartz were having a ball.
Jeffrey Farmer's away, 55 metres out and closing in towards goal. That's better, and this time White doesn't let him down.
And Shanahan has now gone on to Mellington, who's just been given a run.
Schwartz up towards Neats, looks for the free kick, doesn't come his way. Oh, here's Farmer again, another one to the knees. Hopgood looks down towards the 50. Neats, was he shoved again? He's trying desperately hard for that piece of leather. Here goes Farmer. Jeffrey making another one. Which way will it bounce? Oh, North are feeling the pressure strongly at the moment. McCartney comes back. He wanted Shannon Grant, doesn't find him. Instead, it goes to Guy Rigoni. 65 metres out is Rigoni. Oh, sensational grab by David Schwartz. Started 2 back, got front spot, and Melbourne looking very, very strong up forward early on.
No doubt there, Jared.
David Schwartz, goals for Melbourne. What a start.
The young McDonald was got the ball across to Uze, and good play by him, but Jeff White's too quick for McCarthy at the minute.
His kick is not a memorable one, but the mark is David Neitz. Down by 17 points at the moment. Neitz shoots for goal. They're now down by 23.
Melbourne's forward line was in peak condition. The big marks, Jeff White, Neitz, Schwartz and Sean Smith in game number 100. The small fiery forward option in the whiz, Jeff Farmer, and loads of kids banging the ball out of the middle.
Oh, no. Hang time, Sean Smith. Sean Smith for the quick reply. 45-degree angle. Oh, he split them. Melbourne have the answers at the moment.
And this is where Sean Smith is at his most dangerous. One out with a run at the footy, and he's just got a leap that...
Was it a goal, Jared? Was it?
Wing. Oh, well, I think he thinks it was, but it doesn't matter. It's too late now. Play goes on. McDonald has it for Melbourne. In towards centre half forward. The height, a telling factor in the back. Jeffrey White is the flyer.
I just think Jeff White is too good for Jason McCarthy at the minute. I'd like to see Archie go back onto White and put McCarthy up the ground to pick up Schwartz. I just can't work this out at the minute.
Well, it's a pretty good kick into the right spot, top of the square. A bit of a nudge out. I would have thought that was legitimate. And Jason McCartney just outgunned, outpointed.
Yeah, the important thing to mention about those, Jared, is that Jeff White simply held his ground.
White going for his second. Kicked one early in the first term. 25 metres out, directly in front. Will not miss.
Yeah, I think you're right. And they've got Mick back in his best position. He's not lost at centre half back, but I think he's best in the body-to-body work at full back.
Strong mark by Schwartz on the 50. No one home, so he drifts it in towards centre half forward, and Brent Gergie had made position there in that hole. He'll have a shot. So the youngster from Bellpost Hill, kicking from 40 metres from Melbourne, puts it straight through the middle.
Melbourne forward line looks to be in favour from a height and pace perspective of Melbourne at this moment.
An exciting pick-up from Woden, but he gets caught. Ragoni tumbles a punt to the forward line, and Neitz takes the mark directly in front, 20 metres out. This for his second. He makes no mistake. Melbourne again answers.
Demon fans had been waiting for this day, and to make it even sweeter, former skipper Gary Lyon returned, and how.
They're too short.
Listen to that roar for Gary Lyon.
Great to see Lyon take that mark, but did Martin Pike get into his backman, into his teammates, for not cutting that lead off?
He's had an amazing run, Gary Lyon. Last year played just 5 games. In '96 he played only 6. And interesting, when he's been firing, so too has Melbourne.
You'd back him here, Sandy, wouldn't you?
My word. 46 metres. Welcome back, Gary Lyon. They stand as one, this crowd. Leoncelli is okay to Hopgood. Tumbles a punt inside 50 once again. That sun is still causing problems for Archer. Not so for Neitz. Gary Lyon. Go Gary Lyon. Yes!
This was Melbourne as we hadn't seen them for 4 seasons. Cool, confident, unswerving. By half-time, the lead had blown to 7 goals.
Calling again that early over, but I tell you what, it looks ordinary for North Melbourne here.
Look at the sharpness of those hands from Schwartz, just to give it quickly to Gary Lyon, who just had a yard break. I would have thought that Mickey would have picked him up, but got the ball onto the boot beautifully. Dougie is...
it's
I
over.
think you're right. It's going to take a monumental performance by North Melbourne. If it wasn't North Melbourne out there at the moment, you'd say it was 100% this over, but we know that they can come back.
The expected North fight back would come. A 7-goal blitz in the third quarter saw the lead cut to 3 goals. But Melbourne too showed they could fight back.
and this time he does not miss.
Pickett could have ran another 10, 15 metres and kicked that ball to his North Melbourne teammate. That was a shocking kick, that.
Towards White. Martin, a big fist, but straight towards David Neitz. That could be dangerous. Neitz from 40 metres shoots. It's going to be close. It's going to be very, very tight. He's kicked it. You want a team-lifting goal? You want a steadier? Well, David Neitz has kicked his third, and they won't get much better than that. Seacamp, Mellington, Steins, and it's Steins who wobbles it down into the forward line. Jeff White is edged out, but here's Smoker. Phoebe chips away at goal. Stephen Phoebe.
Gary Lyon now in the middle of the ground has just told his players just to calm down and continue in exactly what you've been doing.
Well, I'm sure that Neil Danaher would be delighted the way they've steadied. Great tackle from the ex-captain. Here's Smoker. The hand pass to Jeffrey Farmer. He can seal it. This dazzling
too far.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, Jared, Sandy and Johnny, take away the scoreboard. Melbourne's been probably a 5 or 6 goal better side than North Melbourne here today at the MCG.
Up towards White, Schwartz and co. Oh, White got up high, but without the football. Peter Bell, Smokers at the bottom. Leoncelli was there also. Archer kicks back towards half-back, only as far as Phoebe. Keeps it in play to Smoker again. Smoker gets the hand pass. David Schwartz says, I'll finish it now. It's been a fair comeback, Doug, hasn't it? After being challenged by a side most people think are going to go on and win this premiership this year, to reverse the momentum that was coming at them and come up with some of their own has just been a very good performance by Melbourne.
It certainly has, Jared.
Here they go again. Ragoni takes it from Schwartz. Go Ragoni! He runs a long way. He shoots towards goal, and there is the final nail in the coffin. Kicks back towards the centre once again, but listen to this Melbourne roar. A big win for Neil Danaher and his men here at the MCG.
A 25-point win, and what a victory it was. None enjoyed it more than Gary Lyon.
At that stage, I threw Gary into the centre just for 5 minutes, and he nailed a tackle that spilled over and got a goal, and I think it just lifted the blokes. Then it was gone and shot, but I got him out of there. At that stage, you need to find something. You're a point up, and the momentum of the game's going against you. You just got to come up with something that'll lift the boys, and I thought Gary's terrific in that stage, and so was Jimmy Steins. He found something, and we were able to hang on. And look, it was really important for our club not to get rolled over in that situation. North Melbourne are very proud of the fact that they come and keep coming, and I think it showed a lot of maturity at the end of the game to actually hold on and then to come away with a terrific victory.
Another road trip, this time to the Gabba. Another stinker, this time 29 degrees, humidity 79%. Another test. Brisbane had been woeful, but at the Gabba they can produce surprises. Not so this day against Melbourne. Perfectly prepared for what lay ahead, the Demons kicked the first 2 goals of the game and were never headed.
Back in the centre, Clark wins the knock. Leoncelli out in front. Grigic goes ahead again. Goes long, it looks good, it's another one. Melbourne get their second.
It's Ragoni up towards half forward. Lyon takes the mark. He too doesn't appreciate the close attention, but he's been a grand servant of this club. Kicks in towards full forward. Now Neitz is his man. He's got front spot. Can't take it cleanly. Got a couple of players lurking. He needs only one, and there's another goal to Melbourne. Kicked by McDonald.
While John Northey was bitterly complaining about his players' commitment, Neil Danaher could watch with some satisfaction as his men ran all day. The lessons of Fremantle were paying off. Melbourne by 12 points after an impressive start.
Foot there by Uze, looks good. Uze gets Melbourne's fourth.
White wins it out the back. Lawrence on all fours, tries to get it clear. Viney working hard in there for Melbourne. Now here's a chance for Smoker!
Not an easy game, as we know, so they need to get a win. The kick forward, it could be fortuitous, it is. Gary Lyon takes the mark. The soccer off the ground was from McDonald. So Gary Lyon from 30 metres directly in front. No mistake for Gary Lyon. His first for the afternoon.
Matthew Clark and Neitz. Well, it was Neitz first, then Clark. Darryl White applies a good tackle. Ball spills free. Jeffrey White, it's got to sit for the big man. It does. Comes wider to his skipper. Turns and heads back towards right half forward. Had a couple of options there, Ragoni and also Phoebe. It's the latter who takes it from 55 metres. Set sail for home with a booming punt. And kicks his second.
Well, there'll be people that even argue that it's El Nino's fault. He seems to blame it for everything else, but around the corner goes Neitz, high to full forward. Champion doesn't mark it. Robertson this time off the ground for his first.
It's like working at the Weather Bureau. Yes, and it'll be Lynch who'll bring it back into play, Matty, towards Black. He was unable to take it cleanly. Leoncelli at the back. Gergic pirouettes and then gives it back to Leoncelli. He in turn goes short and finds David Neitz. Now he's got players drifting everywhere. Thought about Smoker, but now he can go back maybe and have a blast from 55, and I think that's what he's going to do. He's got to run up here like Michael Holdings. Let's see what he does. Big torp. Kicking from 60 metres, he lets fly with a torp. A mighty torp from David Neitz. That's how you do it.
By half-time, that lead had blown out to 6 goals. New names emerged again. Craig Smoker from Perth had 4 kicks in each of his first 2 games. This day he kicked 4 goals in an outstanding display.
Try and pick up this spinning ball. Does it rather nicely. Can steady for Melbourne. They need a steadier than these. The tired Gary Lyon gives chase. He heads in towards right half forward. Steins marks in front of Bartlett. Big Jim plays on in towards the centre of the ground. Nice mark by David Neitz. Here's great trouble for the Brisbane Lions. Where are you, Mr. Picken? You're nowhere, and David Schwartz is going to kick a goal. Oh, Billy might have a few words to say there. Defending to the outer side. Going towards centre wing. Neitz in front. Couldn't take the mark. Well, the Lions are ferocious early on in this final term, and well they may be. Up towards half forward. Lawrence does the roving in front. He's only got to kick straight, and they have started in the way they wanted to.
Brisbane got back to within 7 points in the last quarter. The Demons of old might well have withered, but not this team of 98. They rebounded as crucial free kicks against Tristan Lynch and Ackermanis ended with Melbourne goals. The Demons by 13 points as Brisbane slumped to its 6th straight defeat.
On the run in AFL football. Lucky to get away with this, the Demons. Well, Smoker would dearly love a goal. Melbourne have got a goal, and what a steadier.
Clark to do battle with Neitz or Schwartz. Taps it down. Smoker's in everything at the moment. And a boundary throw-in.
There is a line there, but we might just stay clear. Oh, Jason, what has Jason Ackermanis done? He's given away a ridiculous, an inopportune free kick. If he adds a 6-pointer here, it's going to make it very tough for the home side, but he's a left footer in that left pocket.
Smoker kicked 4, Stephen Phoebe 2. They were the standouts along with Ingerson and Steins in win number 2.
Brisbane was certainly another hot day. I think we were a little bit better prepared for the heat. We knew what it was all about after the Fremantle game. I think we got a few more ice vests, which helped the boys adjust, and we also had some saline drips, which a few of the boys used, which got to replace the fluids, especially on ballers, that really helped at the end of the day. But Craig Smoker kicked 4 goals and was probably the difference in the end.
Neil Danaher's immediate aim upon becoming coach of Melbourne last September was to make the Demons more competitive. Against Carlton in round 4, we all saw just how competitive the Demons had become. This wasn't the prettiest match of the season, far from it. This was a scrappy, desperate affair where skills gave way to desire.
Well punched away from Whitnell, now allowing Uze, Peter McKenna's favourite. Now a little chip left footer to Leon Celli in the centre of the ground. Wormburner not high enough for Gary Lyon with a back injury. You need to lift them up higher than that, son. Now Sexton was trying to run away, but it's a free kick.
I thought he staged that, Gary Lyon.
Yeah, he did take a bit of a dive. A bit of experience there as Lyon plays on quickly and finds Phoebe.
I'm not sure Matthew Phoebe was expecting that one, but he made a great fist of it. No wind.
Phoebe's first game for the year. Straight over the top of the goal umpire's head.
Oh, good play, Camporelli on the outskirts of the back. Pearce at the back. That's after the siren.
Carlton had lost Brad Pearce after this little engagement with Marcus Seecamp. The Demon would be suspended for 3 games as a result.
Actually, after the siren.
Doesn't matter though. If we get
there
to
was
see
a slap
again.
Across the face.
Whoa.
Now, how do you look at that?
He gave him one in the stomach. I think Pearce might have given him a little bit of an uppercut.
Well, that is very, very interesting. Listen to the Carlton supporters.
Adam McKenna, Uze to White. Now off to Phoebe. Long kick. David Schwartz. 2 grabs inside 50. Will line up for his first shot at goal. Well, this 50-metre kick, it's a pretty good one. He's made up for anything he might not have done in the first term.
The famed Carlton midfield was shut down, Leon Celli holding Ratton. Guy Rigoni did the job on Fraser Brown.
David Neitz looking for a one-hander. Pressure from Silvani, then Neitz over the shoulder. Sensational stuff.
And I saw one last evening with the best forward body players of all time in Jason Dunstall. When they play against each other, it's great. Here's Viney racing in towards the forward line. Neitz again. Schwartz. Oh,
he's
taken the mark, Schwartz, and rightly so. And Melbourne getting on top here in midfield, Jerry.
Neitz, Schwartz and Lyon are doing well.
Schwartz for his second. I think he's kicked it. He looks happy. Yes!
10 minutes into the third term, the unthinkable occurred. Big Jimmy Steins broke his thumb. David Neitz broke his ankle.
Clear the ball from Carlton and run it out to half-back.
A player's going to have to be held up here because a stretch has come on for David Neitz. Now, he's either really badly rolled his ankle, he may well have broken his lower leg.
Shattered by the loss of 2 of the best players in the side, Melbourne let Carlton open a 3-goal lead midway through the last quarter. Normally, that would have been enough. Not this year, thank you. Schwartz gold on the run, the margin 2 goals.
Quick hand pass. Another hand pass. Schwartz, an open goal. Oh, has he got it? I think he has. They needed it. Great hand pass.
Gary Lyon set up Craig Smoker with a great piece of play.
He had a look at Lyon leading. That was terrific for a kid. Here's a lead on. Oh, Smoker back. Yes. Good play. The Demon Smoker was marked 40 metres from goal. So Craig Smoker, I don't think he'll pass this one off, as he's tried to do a couple of times. They need this goal. Left foot. It is a good-looking kick. It's a goal. Demons are coming back.
Then Stephen Phoebe set up James McDonald. But how about the play of Gary Lyon, who pinned Ron DiUlio? Scores level.
Bit of manhandling going on. Gary Lyon holding the ball's the call. Play on Melbourne. Handball over the top. McDonald puts it through.
And Gary Lyon's done it again with a great tackle.
Ingerson and Silvani. Ingerson down to Hamill. Puts it through. The Blues are in front again.
Hamill gold for the Blues. Then McDonald did it again. A huge mark, scores level again.
Doesn't let him down. Stephen Phoebe all on his own. And steady. Bomb it long into the forward line. 2-on-2. Schwartz. Oh, McDonald over the top. He's about 20 metres out, but on a pretty tight angle. Walks to the right. Kick looks pretty good. I think the score's
that was a photo finish.
A rush behind, then another to McDonald, and Melbourne had pulled off a great 2-point victory.
For the corridor, Stephen Phoebe, head down. Quick kick from Stoney, now to Rice, all on his own in the centre square. Good punch from Matthew Phoebe. Pressure on from Bradley. Matthew Phoebe off to James McDonald. Been a hero with his final turn from Melbourne.
The kick to the open space. The race is on. This could make or break the game. Diulio and Smoker. Diulio kicked it off the ground. That'll waste time. I reckon it'll be hard for Carlton now. 20 seconds they've got to take it from one end of the ground to the other and kick a goal. They don't want a point. They want a goal. 20 seconds of play. All Melbourne have to do is get numbers at the ball. Schwartz. Who's going to latch onto it?
The kid
It's
again.
the young kid. Here's Lyon. Back it comes. Racing away is Whitnell. They've still got a chance, Carlton. The kick. Oh, the mark drop. Melbourne going in hard. Seacamp.
4 seconds.
Hamill. Melbourne will win it. Uze. Melbourne have won the game. What a game. 2 points to the Demons. It probably deserved to be a draw. What a match, Gerard Healy.
Well, it's just the greatest 10 minutes of pressure football that I've ever witnessed. If it wasn't a grand final, it was worthy of a grand final.
And look at Jimmy Steins racing onto the ground, Gerard.
Jim Steins, every Melbourne player are just delighted, and you've got to feel absolute despair and sorrow for the Carlton players that gave absolutely every ounce of energy that they had in their bodies to make this one of the great games that we've seen here. Just a fantastic game of pressure.
Schwartz 3, Neitz and McDonald 2 apiece, while Leoncelli, Stephen Phoebe and Uze were Melbourne's best as they recorded their 3rd win from 4 games.
Jim Steins is no stranger to injury, but it seems this latest mishap may end his record streak of 244 consecutive matches. X-rays on a fractured bone in his left hand confirmed as much this morning, and this evening the Brownlow medalist is going under the knife. Amazingly though, Stein says he could still play against Port Adelaide on Sunday and will again try alternative medicine to aid his recovery.
Well, it depends what you mean by alternative. I think some people think, we'll be calling on the spirits and sitting on the pyramids and all that. No, it's not what I mean by alternative. But yeah, I've already had some work done on it.
But coach Neil Danaher is less optimistic.
I would say he's a broken hand. It'd be pretty tough for him to play footy, I would have thought.
Steins was one of several players to visit a Canberra-shy David Neitz in hospital today. He'll be sidelined for about 10 weeks after breaking his ankle during yesterday's win against Carlton.
It's obviously very disappointing because the team's going pretty well and we're very disappointed to lose him.
This was Kids' Day out for the Demons. Sure, the old hands got into the act against Port Adelaide at the MCG, but it would be the exploits of the youngsters who had everyone talking. Jeff White had been understudy to Jim Steins. This day he showed just how close he was to taking over the main rucking role. He'd finished with 13 marks and kicked 4 goals, while Jim was sitting in the grandstand. As was Melbourne's talent in 1998, they blew Port away early. 9 scoring shots, Port goalless at the first change.
Darren Mead, but it might work in Melbourne's favour here. Anthony McDonald bending it back to Smith. Oh, he's marked it. Sean Smith one-on-one has taken a very good mark. Up to Sean Smith to kick a couple of goals for the Demons. Slight angle out to the right and in for a goal. Led into the pocket. Farmer uncertain. Now bombs it long. Oh, what a grab from Robertson! Sensational mark.
Well, whilst Smith and Paxman were just jostling together, Robertson just had a free run from behind, Pete, and
Farmer. Woden outbodied by Mead. Tackled by Schwartz. Fresh air shot. Well done, Farmer. Melbourne may be able to get out of this. Stephen Phoebe to McDonald, to Schwartz. Centering kick from him. He's got White, the big lead and mark. Oh, nearly a rush of blood. Thought about going off. Let's see what effect that has on this kick. That looks pretty good. That's his second. And a strong mark. Dickey stands the mark. McDonald's kick up towards right half forward. Wide with a screamer! Great mark.
As
By half-time, the lead was 31 points, and it was getting close to showtime.
Definitely up forward and far more dangerous. Here they come again, the Demons. Todd Vining. Anthony McDonald just outside 50, drives it, goal! Yes! Great play by the Demons. Push, I think,
coming back.
Russell Robertson made his mark. A young Tasmanian from Burnie, Robertson would kick 2 goals.
Push out.
White goes in short. Oh, Robertson, sticky hands. He's taken a beauty over Feagit. Robertson right on 50, gives it plenty of air. Does it have the carry? I think it does. It's a goal. Let's see what he does this time. Primus goes the big punch, tries to clear it to the boundary line. Braden Lyle. Oh, that is a great mark. That's young Bishop. Oh, can he climb?
Two sides with plenty of spirit. Taken away by Robertson on the left foot. Brilliant goal. Well.
Travis Johnson had won rave reviews as a teenage sensation. The #1 draft pick showed just why.
Played a terrific game today. Back to Stephen Phoebe. White, who's been good all day, jumping and jumping and jumping. Looks for Rigoni, couldn't find him. Johnston, #1 draft pick. Let's see how he kicks. Brilliantly, as you would expect. Goal.
And then Shane Woden let loose. The run of the year.
Wins it from behind. Kick comes after half back. Woden, good turn of speed through some pretty heavy traffic. Couple of bounces. Fancies himself. Oh, lovely ball. Still Woden. Still Woden. Woden from half forward. Kick a goal, son. Oh, goal. Great footy. Eagleton kicks towards left half forward. Treadray the target. Has to beat 2 of them in the end. Hit him in the back.
When Jeff White kicked his 3rd, Melbourne led by 42 points. This would be Melbourne's 4th in a row, their best start to a season since 1994.
Jeff White from 45 metres out, blazes away, bang, that's another one.
It's 10 marks too, Pete. They've been very damaging.
It's Daniels, the player that had it. Schwartz managing to get some space at last and takes the mark 45 metres out directly in front. Scored just the 1 goal today, Schwartz. Kicks from about 48. He's got that one. Otherwise he'll take it off him. And Smoker chips in. It's as though his number's in disarray at the back or something. The sponsor's sign.
Yeah, too many options there, Pete. Either White or Cow for...
He'll have a little memento of the game to take home today. A few stitches on that right eye. He's getting that a decent old roost. Wow, he's got it. As the clock ticks down to what will be Melbourne's 4th win of the year. Bishop again punches as they try to find the lines. They can't. There's the siren to end the match. Melbourne emerging victorious through the gloom here at the MCG. The thumbs up from Jeff White as the Demons have scored a 49-point win, avenging the loss in round 9 of last year. 14-18, 102, defeating Port Power 6-17-53.
White with 4 was the best goal kicker on the ground and best player. Robertson and Schwartz kicked 2 each, while Stephen Phoebe and Viney were outstanding.
I thought our key forwards worked really hard today. We ended up with 32 shots. I thought Robertson was terrific in his contesting. We had Smith, we got Lyon, we got Schwartz, we got Farmer. So there's no real pressure on any one player. It's just a focus on an even contribution.
You're 4 from 5. Where's this Melbourne side capable of finishing in?
We got Sydney next week. Big game for us. Playing Sydney undefeated. That's all our focus at this stage.
A gloomy old day in Sydney, cold, wet, inhospitable. And to top things off, Tony Lockett was a late withdrawal from the Swan side with a virus. Didn't the Demons love it? They had 4 goals on the board before Plugger could reach for his hanky.
And it's a Melbourne ball to be taken by Leoncelli in the middle of the ground. So the D's to go forward again. Leoncelli looks towards Gary Lyon. Schwartz is there as well. Jeff Farmer also. Neither can take it. Waiting down is Hopgood. He gives it off towards Uze. A left footer by Uze is bending back. They've got another one on the ball.
After that opening burst, Pickings became a little lean. There wouldn't be a 5th goal until early in the second term, and by half-time Sydney might have been back in the match, but for some terrible and wasteful kicking. Paul Hopgood had quietened Sydney skipper Paul Kelly to the extent that the Brownlow medalist was restricted to 7 touches. Todd Viney was superb, picking up 26 possessions.
Melbourne in the second half. Creswell gets it out, but it's all Melbourne. Viney is inspirational as he charges them forward once again. The Smoker may go off the ground, and he does! Now catches, they say.
There he is, Craig Smoker. 2 goals today, both of them socket off the ground. One, as Dougie said, about 30 metres out in the second quarter, and that one, clever at the back, and Wharf's a hard man to beat like that, but he was fast enough and smart enough to get to the spot. Viney's having a big match. He's taken charge at the moment. McDonald, Melbourne right on top here. Lyons taking a beauty. Oh, good mark. And he might have hurt himself here, Gary. He's got up a bit gingerly, but you wouldn't want a better bloke to have the footy 30 metres out in a situation like this. And long winning sequences are difficult to maintain, but at the moment, their winning run looks like it's going to come to an end. Beautiful view behind line. Normally so accurate. He's drilled it. He's kicked 3, 1 in each quarter.
Phoebe will go deep into that scoring zone. A 1-out duel. Luff and Lyon. Lyon at the back. Luff in front. Couldn't take it. Smoker to Farmer. Jeffrey says, I'll get in the act too. Oh, they're pouring it on. Farmer has kicked his first. In towards half forward. At the back is the Smoker. If he gets another crack at it, Leoncelli may be there to help him. Ruse for Sydney tries to bottle it up. Can't do so. Travis Johnston. Travis Johnston has kicked a goal. Travis Johnston and Gary Lyon can combine, or maybe Smoker, who's dropped back into the hole. He's crunched and he's got to get a free kick. It'll come back. And this could just about seal it if there was any doubt. Smoker will pick himself up out of the mud if he's okay.
Melbourne had one more scoring shot than Sydney, but would win by 19 points.
The wind knocked out of his sails.
Yeah, I thought they're saying that maybe young Johnson could have went to Gary Lyon, maybe the option over the top instead of trying to kick the ball across the Smoke on that occasion. He had Lyon a lot closer to him, over the top.
That's his handball. Farmer's going to take the kick, Sandy. Well, this is the ball game, isn't it? Farmer kicks this. It's all over.
Yep.
If he misses, well, there's still a very slim chance.
So Robertson on, but here's the action with Farmer. 35 metres out with a wet, slippery ball. I reckon he's got him home. I think he's got him home.
Lyon kicked 3, Farmer, Schwartz and Smoker 2 each, while Viney was best on ground from Uze and Hopgood.
The Sydney game was another great challenge for us. It was another away game. Like we were looking at the start of the year thinking, well, we've got that tougher trip at the start of the year, we could be 6-0 down. This was another game away against a quality opposition. We'd beat them in New Zealand, so we had a little bit of confidence, but once again, this was on their home territory. We arrived there and it was black as black. It had been raining for about 2 weeks non-stop, and the ground was really underwater. We walked around the ground the night before the game, and we knew it was going to be a real slog come that day. There was some talk that one of their key players were going to be out, which turned out to be Tony Lockett, which was a great coup for us, but we thought we had a pretty good match-up in Jamie Shanahan anyway, and with the wet day, I don't know how big an influence Tony would have been, but it was another great victory for us, and once again the confidence started to really build.
Interestingly, Matthew Knights was only involved in a coaching role, and Nathan Bauer didn't take any part after badly spraining his ankle last night. As the Tigers formulated plans for their clash with Melbourne, the Demons were working on building up their membership numbers.
I think now it's the perfect opportunity for those people that perhaps have been, as Neil said, a little bit embarrassed to say they're a Melbourne fan and supporter, to say, well, things are going to be very exciting at the club from now on, and get behind the club.
Viney is hoping for a big crowd and a victory this weekend when he plays his 200th game.
After 5 wins in a row, the winning streak would come to an end in dramatic fashion. The much vaunted forward line couldn't take a mark against Richmond. Despite the fact that Richmond were kept to 1 goal from quarter time to 3/4 time, and Melbourne went into the last change 4 points up, this was the most forgettable of games.
No crummer for the Demons. Gaspar. This is Schwartz. He needs someone running for him. He's got him in Woden, who bins it back. Chance here for White. Now he gives it off. Gary Lyon a shot. And what's he done with it? I think he's kicked it. Goal up by, yes. And Melbourne had no one there in the goal square to capitalise. Here's Turner. Oh, big fly, but it's over the back with Todd Viney. Look out, Todd, they're coming at you on the left foot. White was the flyer, couldn't grab it. Uze cleverly. Steve Phoebe might have a shot for goal here, the half-back flanker. Stabs, oh, great goal. Just what they needed.
Not one of the Demons' key forwards, Schwartz, Lyon, Smith or Robertson, had a mark credited to them on the stat sheet, and there would be no multiple goal kickers. Richmond ran riot in the last quarter, kicking 8 goals to 1.
But James McDonald is there, gives it off. Here's Adam Uze from 50. He kicks a goal, and the backman's kicked it.
Daffy. Gasper's been a great player all day. He's picked Schwartz right up. Viney. Good kick. Smith. Here's Farmer, the wizard. Demons in front. I wonder if the slog in the wet in Sydney has brought the Demons to their knees for the last half hour. Gee, the Tigers are looking for another one. Just seconds remaining. 20 seconds on the clock. Daffy puts it up high. Beautiful kick. Evans. Oh, Richmond finishing all over Melbourne in this last quarter.
Turn their form around.
Siren's gone. The Tigers have broken the winning streak of the Demons, and Evans to put a further nail in the coffin. And he has. What a finish.
7 separate goal kickers contributed to Melbourne's lowest score against the Tigers for 33 years. Uze, Viney and Shanahan were the best in a side that lost by 42 points.
We're 4 points up, and we had a lot to play for with Toddy's 200th, so it was very disappointing to fade out. In retrospect, the boys were flat from the start. We had a tough game against Sydney, and we probably spent too much time on the track now. In retrospect, we sort of sat down, and if we had our time over again, we would have probably worked a bit harder on freshening the boys up. I thought it was a good effort, the fact that we're 4 points up at 3/4 time, because we were playing very poorly. And then to fade away like that was very disappointing from everyone involved with the Melbourne Footy Club.
It wasn't only the Melbourne players soaking up the MCG atmosphere. President Joseph Kutnik was there, keeping an eye on his investments. So far, the returns have been good, with just 2 losses from 7 games. The most recent defeat came on Sunday, when the Demons fell in a heap against a fast-finishing Richmond. Stephen Phoebe wouldn't remember too much of the second half. He came off second best in his bone-jarring clash with Brett Evans.
Yeah, I had a look at the video yesterday, and I thought I was only out for a second, but I stayed down longer than I thought.
Phoebe, although not training tonight, has recovered from mild concussion and is almost certain to play. Neil Danaher will need all the personnel he can muster to take on Collingwood. Not only are there 4 points at stake, club pride also goes on the line.
No, they're big games. We're looking forward to a big game. We probably haven't played in front of a big crowd at the G for a while. Gives us a bit of a finals type atmosphere, and we're really looking forward to it.
Sunday's game holds even greater significance for Jim Stynes, his 250th league appearance, yet another milestone in an already decorated career.
More than 57,000 turned up at the MCG as Melbourne and Collingwood rekindled the rivalry that made footy in the 50s and 60s something special. This was a memorable contest with many twists. In game number 250 for Jim Stynes, the gut-busting style that has made him a legend with the Demons was never more obvious. Melbourne kicked 4 first-quarter goals and trailed by 8 points.
Uzo's help.
In the back.
Uzo free kick.
The free kick against Burns.
straight in front, 45 metres out. And he doesn't let the Demon supporters down. He's on centre wing. Goes long again. That's a beautiful kick. Up towards Uze. White is there also. The big man keeps it in. Bends it round the body. This will be a miracle goal.
He's kicked it.
Oh, don't tell me.
It was then that Danaher swung the change that may well have won the game. He moved 18-year-old Brent Gergic out of defence and into centre-half forward. It was an inspired decision as Gergic helped himself to a dozen marks.
Finished with Seacamp. Long kick to the forward line. Uze is there. Viney is there. Todd Viney.
He lacks a fortune.
Just the versatile coaching by Neil Danaher, just to swap those two over to let Uze be the runner out of defence and see if Gergic can kick a goal.
They've made a double change too as we speak. He's kicked back. Well, McDonald sock it off the ground, but to the wrong end, down towards Gergic. Gergic has got it. Around the body he goes. Farmer! And here goes the Wizard with another one. Kicking towards left half forward. Gergic well out in front. Takes the mark and is quick to play on to Viney. Penetrating kick. Smith the flyer!
Wasn't he in the box?
A 5-goal second term saw Melbourne edge past the Pies at half-time. Danaher had started 17-year-old Travis Johnson on the bench. He'd come on and kick 4 goals.
He's only kicked a few. He's kicked 4 goals so far this year. Now he's kicked 5. Just the start they wanted. Woden down towards Gergic.
Now he's got Richardson as his direct opponent.
And he can, quick though, I think. He can kick a ball too. Look at this. And how's that from the youngster?
And when it's a ball's in the air, he's not too good in that marking situation.
Chance to run round, play on and kick a goal. What a goal too to Travis Johnston. Big Jim celebrating 250 games. Finds Seacamp almost in the middle. Uze been quiet in this term. Smith down on the lead.
It's very important. Collingwood have kicked the last 5 consecutive goals in the game.
45 metres out. Melbourne needs it, and Smith has got it. Again, he blasts forward. Melbourne have the numbers. Fine chest mark by Hopgood.
Down by a kick at the last change, the Demons showed their desperation.
Viney first to recover. A chance for Melbourne now. The kick is great to Sean Smith. 40 metres out. This to regain the lead. The Melbourne Red and Blue Army goes up. They're back. Well, we've got plenty of time, Lee. 12 minutes remaining in this match. Buckley gets it out to Russell. He tumbles a punt to half forward. Seacamp, well done. He charged his arm and he tumbles it back to half forward. Gergic takes a great mark.
When it's bouncing like that in that hard centre square, well, it could bounce high or it could bounce flat and low, and it was flat and low.
Here's a big kick from 52 metres, a flat helicopter punt. Oh, he's kicked it, this youngster. Russell couldn't take it. Here's a chance for Stynes. Pumps it out in front of Seacamp. 60 metres out. Seacamp shoots long in towards full forward. Sean Smith smothered at the back. Johnston! Could be a match winner. Young Travis swings it back in towards the middle, and there he is again. Gergic gives it away beautifully to Phoebe. 60 metres out, pops it up in the air. They need a flyer like that. That's what they need. This for number 5 for Sean Smith. Say goodnight to the folks, Gracie. The D's are home.
Twice the Rocker brothers missed in the dying minutes of the game. A goal from either would have been enough, but the Demons held on to win by 3 points.
Conclusion. Richardson's going to have to fly. Can't take the mark. Viney is steady. Johnston's got it. The youngster can seal it forever. He shoots towards goal. It doesn't matter. It's all over. Melbourne are victorious.
What a game, Sandy.
Sensational.
And that's what footy's all about. There's no doubt about that.
You won't get a better game than that.
It's unfortunate there has to be a loser, but the Melbourne team, they able to experience the exhilaration of victory tonight. Collingwood did a press.
Smith kicked 5, Johnston 4, Farmer 3, while Big Jimmy was sensational as he became the third Melbourne player after Brian Dixon and Robbie Flower to reach 250 games with the club. The kids, Gergich and Johnston, were superb.
Very special day for our club. Spoke to the fellas at three-quarter time where we kidded ourselves last week, three-quarter time, in a situation where the game was there for us, and then it was very important that they looked at each other in the eye and just don't do that again. And that's the thing I was very proud about, the fact that it was a great game. I told them I it was probably a bit dishonest, but I said I don't care whether we win, lose or draw. They've got to come off and be able to look at each other in the eye at the end of the game. And they were terrific, and it was just a really big game for us. Club that's struggled in the past to play in a big match against fantastic opposition and win one. It was just terrific.
When Jeff Farmer went in for a scan on his hamstring, he wasn't sure how many games he'd miss. He felt twinge during the second quarter yesterday and limped from the field, but today he and the doctors were more positive.
One stage they were saying maybe 3 weeks, but hopefully maybe just 1 at the moment.
After 17 years as senior coach at Essendon, the day was sure to come when one of Kevin Sheedy's star pupils would be out to beat him at his own game.
I won't be thinking about Neil Danaher, I'll be thinking about my team, Essendon. We've got 22 players there and I've got to work in that sort of mindset.
Now, after playing 82 games with the Bombers, followed by stints as assistant coach at Essendon and Fremantle, Neil Danaher is about to face his mentor, but he doesn't see it as a big occasion.
I know everyone's trying to build it up a bit, but just a big game for both clubs. One for us to get away from the pack a bit, and Essendon to sort of stay in touch.
But Danaher did reveal at a Melbourne Football Club lunch today his friendship with Sheeds has saved him time researching the opposition.
When me and Kev, we just ring each other up and say who you're playing, and say, let's just cut with the 10 hours of video.
A twilight game at the MCG, nearly 50,000 on hand to see the Demons play an Essendon side, strengthened by the return of its skipper, James Hird. In the stands before the game, Melbourne and Essendon heroes of another era were introduced to the crowd 50 years on. In 1948, the Demons and Bombers drew in the grand final. The Demons won the replay. Among the onlookers this day, rival captains, 1946 Brownlow medalist Don Cordner and the legendary Dick Reynolds.
Dick Reynolds and I went out to Tosh just before the 48 grand final. We had already played Essendon 3 times and we had been soundly defeated each time. I said to Dick, this is our last shot at you, Dick. And Dick said, and I kid you not, unless it's a draw, Donald, unless it's a draw. And of course it was.
And what happened in the replay, because you were still favoured to win, they got away with a 6-goal first quarter.
Yes. No, I think the strain kept in on us, and the disappointment of 7:27 the week before with Melbourne. They started off that well, they caught us unawares, and they went on, and we plodded on. I suppose to win 1 out of about 4, they had to do it.
Once again, Melbourne would get away to a good start. 4 first quarter goals.
It finishes up coming to Liancelli. Chance for McDonald. He's still got it. Oh, fantastic! James McDonald. Unbelievable. 1-1, trailing Essendon 2 goals straight. Shane Woden. Good delivery to Gary Lyon on the members' wing. Off to McDonald. That's Anthony McDonald. Now at centre-half forward, Jimmy. And you could hear the Melbourne members rise to Jimmy as the ball was floating in his direction. Good lead. And White marks.
Took a nice mark, and you would think, Drew, with his leg and the way he's been kicking lately, he'd make the distance and kick accurately.
40 metres, right in front. And he's got the goal. Crunch. Down they went. Another kick for James Hird to centre-half forward.
Sean Smith in the action.
His hand pass was blocked.
Buick. Back to the cricket pitch area. Phoebe. An expensive turnover for the Bombers. It comes to Hopgood. Hopgood's kick too high for Gergich, but he's got a chance as Wellman goes to ground. The youngster, Brent Gergich. Hoisted up high. Smith with the sit.
But Gergich had the great poise, awareness to kick to that hot spot area where the Melbourne players led into it with Sean Smith's aerial judgment has given him the opportunity to kick a goal for the Demons.
Sean Smith, 40 metres out. Goal.
Bit going on in the centre circle there.
Steins looks to knock it down to Leoncelli and succeeds beautifully. Good roving by Leoncelli as well. Gergich is there. Big leap by Hardwick at the front. Viney, a centering pass is good. Smoker on the run. And he's kicked it.
The Demons led by a point at quarter time. In the second quarter, Smith would fly, Smith would crash.
He was assigned the rocker, and he was a terrific... sorry.
Oh, Smith. Magnificent mark.
Now, you would wonder, I don't think you'll get up too quickly. You would wonder how he could mark that. We'll watch it in replay, but quite simply the kick from Travis Johnston. You'll see the kick from Travis is a check side, and they always fall.
By half-time, the Essendon midfield had taken charge, and in the second half, Melbourne struggled to stay in touch. Despite some flashes, Melbourne would go down by 38 points.
Stephen Phoebe comes out wide. Rigoni. Gary Lyon.
Lyon and Smith each kicked 2. Young Travis Johnston outstanding, with young guns Leoncelli, Uze and Woden best in a disappointing display.
The Essendon game was one we were hoping to win for Neil Danaher's sake, being his old club, and Danny Corcoran, so there was a bit of build-up for the week. We hadn't had a great record against Essendon going in, and I think I did my hamstring in the first half just before the half-time siren, so we were 1 down going into the second half. But yeah, the young guys, Woden, Leoncelli, Uze really did stand up for us and played well, even though we did go down by 38 points.
For the third time in 4 weeks, Melbourne would face defeat. Against the reigning premiers at Football Park, Melbourne never quite got into stride. Despite an outstanding display by Jeff White, who battled manfully against Sean Wren and took 14 marks, the Demons couldn't capitalise. By half-time, they trailed by 19 points. That deficit kept decent thanks to this goal by David Schwartz just prior to the break.
Hitting the ball hard though is Ward. Well played. Ward, probing kick inside the 50. Schwartz is there. Bassett on the ground. Recovers pretty well, but Schwartz had the strength. Schwartz turns around, kicks it, goal, and I tell you what, he's got his second.
Melbourne got sterling service from Shane Woden, who gathered 22 kicks, but this would be a game that slipped further away as it went on. In the last term, the Demons showed just how much they were missing the experience of skipper Viney, Steins, Tingay, Glenn Lovett and Neitz. The retribution would come later in the year.
That is a massive kick. Sav Rockalite.
Adelaide by 53 points, Schwartz the only multiple goal kicker for Melbourne in a 9-goal loss. White a standout, with Woden and Stephen Phoebe terrific.
We really had a lot of the ball in the first quarter. I remember thinking, geez, we've got enough of the ball to really try and get some pressure on them, scoreboard pressure. We just couldn't score. We had a lot of the ball across the half-back line. We just couldn't get it into the forward line with any momentum. We were missing Neitz and Steins and a couple other really good quality players, so we were a little bit short perhaps in height, and we just couldn't get enough score on the board to put any pressure on them. And I think after half-time they won pretty comfortably with 38 points, but it was a disappointing result considering we had such a good start.
At the 20-minute mark of the first quarter of the game against Hawthorn, Melbourne had shrugged off that disastrous form of May. With play like this, Melbourne had re-emerged. Just sit back and savour the moment.
Into the side for the Demons, and he's got it.
Short one. Seakamp squares the ball yet again. This is Ward. Ward running away from half-back, penetrating kick down towards centre half forward. Lyon comes up on the lead. That went all of 60 metres. Pinpoint accuracy, kicked for space, and Lyon ran hard into it. Lyon from 60. Downwards full forward. It could carry Farmer. It has. It's a goal. Melbourne second. Ward comes through as he pushed in the back. Nothing doing. Phoebe tries to control it. Uze hasn't got it. Seacamp knocks it goalward. Well worked. Bishop got it across to Matthew Phoebe. Phoebe goes long. Lyon kept his eye on the ball. Too easy.
Kicks long, gets great distance. Here comes Jeff White. Good build-up by Melbourne. Travis Johnston also running hard down to the goal square. White goes short. This is a beautiful kick, and he finds McDonald. Hasn't been all that accurate this year. 2 goals, 5 is his return from directly in front. He's on target.
McDonald inside the centre square. Changes his mind, comes out towards right half forward. Lyon almost the mark. Coming through was Matthew Phoebe. On the ground, goes back to Lyon, who's kicked 2 already, lays it off, intended for Farmer.
Jeff Farmer, you're never quite sure what he's going to do. He's a lively player, but he can do the unexpected and the unpredictable. But the Lyon-Farmer full forward line combination has been very good in this first part of the game.
Back after tearing a hamstring against Collingwood in round 8. His second goal.
Very crowded Hawthorn forward line. Salmon goes wide. Holland, the game was the target, but they don't have a crummer at ground level. Pounced on by Farmer. He's kicked a couple already. He's dangerous, the Wizard. Runs to centre wing. Pops it short to Gary Lyon and keeps running. The Wizard, he's got it. He's going to take him on. Runs to 50. Great play. This could go through, but bounces. It's a goal. Oh. Sensational play. Jeffrey Farmer.
Goal of
magnificent. So Hopgood goes short, finds Rigoni. So the man from Myrtleford kicks the ball long, and there's White. But terrific play, the fact that he was prepared to run from the half-back line when Melbourne had the ball and ran very hard down. He must have covered a good 80 to 90 metres and should kick a goal from directly in front. Be a great start to this second term for Melbourne. Popped it through.
Now he wants to go. For space and Lyon. Lyon goes in, met by Leckis. Ricocheted off the defender. Here's Farmer. Leckis dived across the boot under pressure. Leckis kicked it out of there. And as a result, McDonald's taken the mark. Now McDonald has kicked and kicked truly, I fancy. It's a goal.
Weaving all tied up that time by Leoncelli. Dispossessed. Rigoni's hand pass didn't hit Gurgic. White goes to ground under pressure. Taylor, the tackler, too high for mine. The free kick will go to Jeff White inside the centre square. The danger man will be Farmer. He's already kicked 3. Here's Gary Lyon on the lead. 212-game veteran going for his 3rd goal. Right on 50. He has split the centre. Right on the line. I reckon he's got it. So the long bomb by Gurgic. Lyon stands his ground. Farmer, the high flyer. And at ground level, recover. Oh, bang. Down goes Crawford. They've paid advantage. Gets the ball back to McCabe. Comes away from the half-back line to the edge of the square. Now there's a fight on. You can see on screen Crawford there in the window along with Farmer. Very agitated. Schwartz in front. Got it. Looked like he may have got a twinge in the hamstring, but he's going for his 2nd goal. And he pops it through.
Going onto the forward line. Crawford and Farmer jousting, and the ball went directly over their head. Leoncelli tries to get it back to Phoebe. Melbourne irresistible once more out of the centre. The ball comes down towards the pocket. Knocked away down there by Hassel. Slides across the goal face. Smoker missed. Gurgic stood up in the tackle. Gets it to Lyon. Lyon snaps. Oh, reminiscent of last week. What's the goal umpire going to do? I think it's a goal. It is.
Salmon taken by Gurgic. So danger here for Hawthorn. Great mark. Matthew Phoebe. So Phoebe from point-blank range kicks a goal. Gets the hurry up from the umpire. So he just kicks the ball long. So it'll be a group of players there, and the Wizard runs in, quick snap, and he has drilled it. Woden. Make that McDonald, kicks the ball high. Jeff White couldn't take it. Hopgood pounces on it and kicks a goal.
The 47-point win was highlighted by Shanahan's game on Dunstall, White's eclipse of Salmon, and a forward line that sparkled.
Just a few seconds left. 117 plays 70. Dixon out towards Hartford, kicks the ball in frustration. Not a good day for Hawthorn. Great one for Melbourne. 117 to 70.
Farmer and Lyon each with 4 goals, McDonald 3, while Farmer, White and Lyon were the stars.
Hawthorn have got a very good midfield with Crawford and Taylor and Hartford and Salmon and Cutler and these types, and the challenge was there for our boys. I thought we were led very well by Jeff White. I thought he was outstanding in the ruck today, and he gave a lot of our boys first use of the ball. And our backline were able to crowd up Hawthorn's forward line, made it hard to score. So, look, it was a terrific day for our club because we were really under the pump from the football community. Maybe we were finished, maybe we weren't, but our boys showed a lot of character to come away with a terrific win.
Despite his suspension, Jeff Farmer was out on the training track tonight as the D's gear up for Saturday's clash with Geelong. Farmer was last night found guilty of striking Hawthorn's Shane Crawford, a verdict that left the Demons seething and contemplating an appeal.
As a club, we discussed looking at an appeal today, but decided not to proceed with that.
As well as the Cats, Melbourne play St Kilda and West Coast in the next 3 weeks, making Farmer's loss a hard one to cover. There is some good news in the Demons camp though, with Stephen Tingay set to resume in the reserves, while skipper Todd Viney returns from a hamstring injury.
Just got to make sure I get through tonight without any dramas, so I'm pretty confident I'll play, yeah.
So at the halfway mark of the home and away season, the top 8 looked like this. The Bulldogs led the field with 9 wins from 11 games, St Kilda 8-3, Sydney, North and Melbourne 7-4, with Essendon, West Coast and Richmond making up the 8. Despite the tense end of the season, only Richmond would be displaced. Melbourne's first goal of the game against Geelong came 28 minutes into the second term, courtesy of Gary Lyon. While Geelong's first half had been all but flawless, Melbourne was just awful. 41,000 saw the Demons put in a shocker.
Exactly right, Dennis. Incorrect disposal of signals, so deemed to be a throw.
Smoker spears it in, and Lyon has it directly in front. No longer the captain, but this would be a captain's goal. He's certainly the senior member of the team out there, along with Jimmy Steins, and I think he's got it. Well, the rule says everything.
They would lose Jamie Shanahan for 2 weeks after he was found guilty of striking Brett Spinks. And to add to Melbourne's woes, David Schwartz did his hamstring. Melbourne kicked 6 second-half goals. They would lose by 95 points in the low light of the season.
Centres it to a contest, if you don't mind, but Longmuir made him look okay. Troy Longmuir kicks the goal. Melbourne spin.
Lyon and Smoker each kicked a couple, while Lyon, Uze and Smoker stood tall on a dreadful day. Just when you thought it was safe to walk back onto the MCG, up bobbed St Kilda. Another lamentable first half, this time 2 goals. With Schwartz, Neitz, Lovett, Tingay and Shanahan on the sidelines due to injury or suspension, this was a shadow of the side Melbourne would have liked to field.
A sweeping hand pass, Seacamp, good running. Brings it into half forward, White leaps. Oh, he's got a big leap. That's just able to get his hands clear because of that jump. Jeff White's got to move it quickly. It's a driving kick. It's a good kick to the forward line. Good mark, Gergich.
You know, the kick then from Whitey coming in was to his and to Gerg's advantage, which is one of the keys.
So it's a goal.
Melbourne kicked 2 goals in the second term and 3 in the last. In the other 2 quarters, they didn't kick a goal. The end result, an 85-point hiding.
Continues, Bishop right on 50. Can the D's get their 3rd goal? They will now. Mark taken by Smoker. He's kicked it. That's their first goal since halfway through the second quarter.
No multiple goal scorers, in fact only 5 for the day. Uze, Leoncelli and Steins were the best of a sorry lot.
We've had a young side going all year, and we're really in a bit of a trough in that area. We really need some men back into our side, but they're just not available at the moment. When I say, you know, we're playing the wards. We're playing Gergic, and Gergic's 18, and Bishop is a bloke just off the rookie list. They're playing full forward and centre half forward. We need, and we're going to keep playing these kids, Long Mules and Smokers and Wards and the McDonalds. We're going to keep playing them because they're our future. But they do need support of the fellas like men like Shanahan and Neitz and G. Lovett. Tingay played well today. He's got a big, strong body. Farm will come back in 2 weeks' time. And we've probably got 6 or 7 men that can come into the side that helps out these younger kids.
The mood was sombre at Junction Oval this morning at the Demons' recovery session. Their second straight defeat by more than 10 goals, made even worse by the loss of Jim Steins with a knee injury.
It's a medial, so I don't know if they can do a whole lot.
He had a scan late today and Melbourne's worst fears were confirmed. Their ruckman out for up to 8 weeks with a medial ligament tear.
Reputation and form were thrown to the wind this day at Subiaco. Following 85 and 95-point defeats in the previous 2 rounds, the Demons should really have been no match for the Eagles in Perth. After all, they hadn't won there since 1990. In 14 meetings between the clubs since, they'd won once. With the side beginning to gather strength, the Demons started conservatively.
Across and takes the mark. From Burnie in Tasmania, made his debut against the Eagles, round 20 last season. Kicked 1 goal that night. And that's a pretty good effort. It's a great kick. Just watching the replay, didn't seem a clean mark. 10 metres out, so the Melbourne supporters won't be happy with that, unless perhaps they can manufacture something. There's Lyon to McDonald. They may well do. McDonald puts it through. Same result. Comes back to Uze. Uze, high kick towards half forward. Robbo again. How about that one? Russell Robertson, what a terrific mark. Across the ground, Seacamp. Melbourne 2-on-1 here, a chance with the clock running down. Waiting behind Woden, spins back towards the middle. James McDonald inside the centre square, sets it up. Robertson, can he do it again? They're conscious of him. They came from all directions. Bradley, the crumbs, the big man. It runs on and on. It's a goal. Well played by Melbourne.
While the Eagles kicked haphazardly, Melbourne slotted through a couple and trailed. At half-time, the margin was still 10 points to the West Coast. It was Adam Uze in the third term with 12 of his 32 possessions for the game who turned the match.
Smith, and he's kicked it. James McDonald. The West Coast Eagles looking for 7 straight this afternoon. Rarely happens in the AFL. Cockatoo Collins has kicked a goal. And the ball has been down this area, though, most of this term. Going up is Smith, plenty of company there. Metropolis knocked it away. Viney leading by example now. Waterman, Viney comes again. Waterman comes again. Kicks it back towards the centre square, taken by Simmons. Gets the hand pass away. Braun was run over. It was like Wile E. Coyote waiting for the anvil. The hand pass comes across to Lyon. Lyon kicks inside the 50. Chance for Viney at the face of the pack. Pulls it back, bends it back. What a goal!
It's a great goal.
Inspirational.
White and Viney dominated, and Melbourne kicked 4 goals to 1. By the third break, they would lead by 11 points. McDonald would be the best goal kicker on the ground. He'd kick 2 in the final term, take his tally to 4, and help the Demons to a 17-point win. It was commitment at a time when the club was sinking to its lowest ebb of the season.
Game, this one, as far as the Eagles are concerned. Adelaide making their move as a result of their win in Sydney today. All about home finals. Finishing in that top 4, and maybe going on then and winning the premiership. These sort of defeats can really hurt. Here's Tingay, runs inside the 50. Big kick, this one. I think he's got it. Melbourne increased their lead.
Yeah, good power here from the upper body of Bradley. Tingay is coming up the ground. They've brought Woden on the ground.
Oh, Robertson! He's kicked the goal from the Browns. 12-9, 9-12. White superbly with a backhand. How about that? It was classical. into the path of McDonald, and Stone gets back. That is classic ruck play. The leap, Stone has puffed it up. Unbelievable. Picked up by Robertson, he's kicked another one. The hand pass from Morrison. Plenty of Melbourne players around the ball. Cockatoo Collins. Stephen Thebe has been terrific. Gets it away to Uze. Ditto. Hand passes back towards the pocket. McDonald gets through the Eagles and kicks the sealer.
McDonald 4, Robertson 3, Smith 2, Uze with 32 touches the star from skipper Viney and White.
Things were starting to look a little bit grim again, so this was probably a watershed mark of the year we had to go over. Unfortunately, we lost a number of other senior players, and we went over with probably the youngest list or youngest team that the Melbourne Footy Club had put on the ground for quite a long time. Once again, thinking that we might be the lambs to the slaughter, we end up going out there and played probably, well, in my mind, it's one of the highlights of my career. It was just such a great win to beat them over there. They were a tough unit, and we look back at the end of the year now and say, well, that was a really important game for us.
For the second time this season, Melbourne figured in Norwich Rising Star nominations. In round 8, Travis Johnston underlined his vast potential by winning the nod of the selectors. In round 14, it was Tasmanian Russell Robertson, with his 3 goals from 13 kicks, his 7 handballs and 6 marks, and a touch of class. The youth policy of the Demons, the smart recruiting and the coaching staff were reaping dividends. This was a test. The Demons just in the top 8 against the might of the Western Bulldogs, who'd been in the top bracket all season. This wasn't the classiest match of the season, nor was it one to be overly fussed about. Melbourne was coming off its win over the Eagles and led the Dogs until into the final term. A highlight was Gary Lyons' 400th goal in game number 216. The former skipper becoming the 3rd Demon after Fred Fanning and Norm Smith to reach the mark.
Oh, mark the line, he plays on. Oh, he goals. Good play, the Demons.
While Montgomery sealed Melbourne's fate with 3 last-quarter goals, the Demons had plenty to feel satisfied with. This was a bold showing against a class team that was out to regain top spot. The Demons lost key players through injuries, yet were still there at the end, pushing and harassing.
Melbourne have got another one through Bradley.
Bradley and McDonald, each with 2 goals in the 18-point loss. Tingay, White and Leon Challey the best players.
We come off a great win against the West Coast Eagles. We really thought we were a very good chance. We'd had a couple of close games even the year before, so we thought we were around the mark. We matched up reasonably well. Optus Oval, which was their home ground, we don't seem to play that well at Optus Oval, and we went into the game, we were really competitive. We were up until the last quarter. Stephen Tingay was starting to show a little bit of his old form, was really strong around the packs and was getting quite a bit of the ball. We just couldn't quite ping him back in the last quarter. They just overrun us in the end. I think Montgomery kicked 3 goals to really put the game out of our reach, but it was definitely there for the grabbing, and we just couldn't quite get our nose in front.
Melbourne is set to welcome David Neitz back this weekend for its match at the MCG against Fremantle. Neitz has been sidelined with a broken leg for the past 3 months.
It's just been, unbelievably frustrating just sitting there watching.
The Demons also have David Schwartz over a hamstring strain, but he's likely to resume through the reserves.
Fremantle had never won a match at the MCG. In this round 16 game, they pushed Melbourne all the way. At quarter time, Melbourne trailed by a goal. The Demons had David Neitz back in the side after 12 weeks recovering from his broken ankle. He may not have been as sharp as he would have liked, but he kicked 3 goals.
James McDonald, well, he's almost on the wing now by the time he takes the kick. He swings it onto the left and drives it to the half-forward line. A loose ball. That was Rigoni. Oh, Todd Viney crushes his way through, belts it a goal, and he's kicked it.
He's from Icon. Ball tossed in, Robertson across the body, good-looking effort from there, bending it right back, and Lyon, what a mark!
With a sniff of a finals opportunity in the air, the Demons looked rejuvenated. Gary Lyon taking every opportunity. Early in the third term, he lifted his side with 2 vital goals.
McDonald, who breaks away. He waited for Bond to overcommit. Now he cuts back towards the middle, goes with the left boot, just popping it up inside the 50, reaching over the top. Lyon has taken the mark. Always a difficult one, though, isn't it? Not clear cut. Lyon leans back meantime. That is his second goal. A quarter of an hour to go.
Melbourne led by 7 points going into the last quarter. Farmer had been well held by Chris Bond. He was called on for a special effort and duly delivered.
Out of mid-air by Lyon. He's got his third. Towards midfield. Chisholm knocked it away from White. Coming through is Uze. Well played. Melbourne work it forward again. Here's Hopgood. Got it from Smith. Still he's going at the 50. Snaps it back. It wanders towards the pocket and Farmer. He runs around and just as likely to kick it. Oh, he got 3 for WA last week.
Melbourne by 23 points. Lyon 4, Neats 3. Tingay, Uze and skipper Viney the best players. Viney had his number taken for striking Luke Toyer in the first quarter, but would be cleared by the tribunal.
The way we played today, we really did rotate all our players. I thought I told them all before the game, especially our forwards, because the Fremantles really killed us last time with their setup out of the back line. And I told all my forwards to work really hard and you'll get a spell. And they knew it, but no one loves to come off. And that's why you love the blokes. They're competitive, want to play. But Neats, Smith, Robertson and Lyon and Farmer and A. McDonald and Joe McDonald, all our forwards had a turn at a rest today. And Gary and Tingo were fantastic in the third quarter when the game was in the balance. I thought they led us really well, and I wanted to make sure Gary still had a little bit of petrol in the tank in the last quarter.
In a controversial lead-up to the match against North, Roos coach Dennis Pagan had bemoaned the lack of free kicks paid to skipper Wayne Carey. It didn't seem to matter much against Melbourne. The superstar was just that. Melbourne stayed with the Roos for 3 quarters. They had Neats kicking goals, but his fitness would tell.
Into the open goal and popped it through. But up until that point of time was arguably the best player on the ground. It's a thumping kick, again inside 50. Standing his ground was White. At ground level, Leon Celli has the ball. It's dragged down. Great tackle by Byron Pickett. Around the corner by Gary Lyon. Wanting the bounce was Neats. Kicks a goal.
7 years as Melbourne captain. Todd Viney, of course, now leading the side. Leon Celli. Out to Shane Woden at right half forward. 65 to 70 metres out from goal. Neats and Martin Neats, good mark. Got Melbourne's second goal in the first quarter. Jeff Farmer kicked there first. That's the angle that he faces. That looks pretty good. Straight through the centre. He's got his second.
Couldn't take it. Uze. What a season he's had. This is another wonderful kick out wide to Matthew Phoebe. It all opens up for Melbourne. Kicks long to the square. This is a wonderful kick. Gary Lyon backing back. He's got it. Oh. Gary Lyon from right in front. Kicks a goal.
Boot to ball quickly. Intended for Peter Bell. Tingay.
Lyon and Farmer too would keep the Demons in touch, and in the third quarter it looked as though they may even overtake North.
Goal square. Farmer nearly was a touch. I don't think so. Goal.
But a 10-goal final quarter, orchestrated and executed by Wayne Carey, ended Melbourne's hopes. It would be their last loss for a very long time.
Number 8.
Neats 4, Lyon 3, Farmer and Matthew Phoebe 2 apiece in a dismal 65-point loss. Matthew Phoebe, Neats and White the best players. In 2 trial by video charges arising from the game, Gary Lyon was cleared of an attempted tripping charge, but Marcus Seecamp wasn't so lucky. He was suspended for 2 matches for striking an old fishing buddy, Brett Chandler. It was his 5th suspension in 116 games.
We'd been around the mark with some of the better teams, so it really hadn't gotten over the line against the Bulldogs, who were on top, and and the Crows, who won last year's Premier. So we still had something to prove against one of the top leading teams. We went into the game, I think it was a pretty even contest for most of the game, but Wayne Carey really took over in the last quarter. They end up steamrolling us by 10 goals. I think that really taught us a lesson. I think we really use North Melbourne as a role model now, that you've got to play 4 quarters of intense, hard at it footy. We played 3, but then let ourselves down in the last quarter, and like earlier against Richmond, we've done the same thing. 3 quarters good, last quarter bad. Even the Western Bulldogs, we were 3 quarters good, last quarter rolled. So it really did teach us a lesson. I think that it was 4 quarters, that was the minimum that you had to play, and North Melbourne have just been a tremendous role model for us in that regard.
In 20 matches against Brisbane, Melbourne had never started so strongly. The Demons poured on the goals in an opening blitz that would become their late season trademark. The man of the moment would be Stephen Tingay. He'd star. 7 first quarter goals, some great football.
Out to Rigoni. Now they're off and running through Matthew Phoebe, Melbourne, to the half-forward line. Beautifully picked up by Schwartz to Tingay. He can run right in here. 2 bounces. Will he go again? No, he kicks from just outside 50, Stephen Tingay, and goes bang for a brilliant goal.
Just playing his 8th game for the season. So the Demons lead by 6 points. And Tingay is a very important player, and so is this man Neitz. He's directly in front. So Neitz from right on 50. Distance is there, so is the accuracy. Great start by Melbourne.
Typical was this piece of play at the 18-minute mark. Schwartz with Tingay shepherding to Lyon up forward. Together this season, they'd played 36 games. Last year, the trio had been restricted to half that number.
He's got it. Well, there's a great camera shot there from Channel 7. You can see the angle, and what would Peter McKenna do?
Run around, Kevin.
That's a goal. Melbourne fans want a free kick. There's some heavy body work by Viney. 2 old stages combined. Back to Steins, finds Cow, who's got pace. Runs through the centre square out in front. Here's a chance for the Wizard to show his wares. Lawrence is tough customer, crashes into Farmer and gives away the free kick. Now the advantage is paid. Farmer's going to run into the open goal, 35 metres out. Bangs it through.
Well, this is a great start to Melbourne, getting close to quarter time. They've looked very sharp right from the outset, and here they go again. Tingay with a booming kick to full forward. Lyon tried to hook it in. He's got some support though. David Schwartz, beautiful hand pass to Lyon, and he's kicked the goal. Good team play.
By quarter time, Lyon and Farmer had 4 goals between them. Brisbane was in tatters. By half time, the margin was 11 goals. The second quarter was a procession. The unfortunate thing was that only 16,000 were at the MCG to see play like this.
McDonald gets it out to Ingus, and the Demons are running this ball beautifully today. There's Matthew Phoebe, Viney looking for an option of a hand pass. He breaks that tackle beautifully and brings it in towards full forward. Over the back, here's a goal coming up, Gary Lyon. Goal number 4. Loves to thump it normally, but this time he gives it off to Leon Challey, who finds Anthony McDonald. He'll kick a goal, I reckon. He runs inside 50, stabs it through for a brilliant goal.
With Lyon on his way to a 5-goal haul and Farmer to 6, the Melbourne forward line was back to its best. Tingay beat 5 opponents, gathered 19 kicks and 9 hand passes, and kicked 2 goals. It was his best performance for the year and helped a little to make up for the rotten luck that had dogged his career in '97.
We've discussed that, and players have kicked into the man on the mark. Now that was Rigoni with a quick hand pass. Anthony McDonald has been very good. That's to his brother James, and James McDonald.
That's a goal.
This is a goal. Yes.
I guess that's a calculated risk that Neil Denner would be taking, KB, by rotating his key forwards off. He knows that their scoring power would probably diminish somewhat, but he's probably thinking he needs to keep them fresh also for the end of the year.
The quick kick out of that pack lands with Farmer.
As he comes in now, he's kicked that nicely, Jeff.
Yes, beautiful kick. Goal number 6 for the Wizard. The Melbourne have been terrific as Shane Woden drives to the half-forward line. It's a good mark to Brett Voss.
As Neil Danaher said later, we're about 10 or 15 minutes away from being a top 4 side. Prophetic words indeed. In the end, Melbourne by a whopping 95 points, a record-winning margin between the clubs.
Hooks it back, and he's kicked the goal.
Just couldn't hang on to the share. Nick Carter, still a young player making his way in the game, back to Hart. Comes away from the half-back flank. He's got no one to kick it to. And Guy Rigoni will clean up. He just thumped the ball back to a loose player in David Neitz. And again, it was a pretty fair kick, a good 55-metre kick. And this has been the power of Melbourne today, the ability to kick the ball a long way. Here's Stodge, wide, what a sensational mark! Now that could be the mark of the year. That was an unbelievable jump.
No hands on the shoulders either. You're guilty.
Let's hope he can kick it, Gerard, to finish off a great passage of play.
As Jeff White approaches the goal, he's a very nice kick, and that one looks as if he's kicked it truly. The arms say it all, and the embrace with David Swartz suggests that Melbourne have had a fantastic victory here. That was Jeff White's first goal, and the Demons, David Swartz, with David Swartz, will celebrate.
Farmer kicked 6, Lyon 5, Neitz and Viney 2 each. Tingay was the standout, and he received great support from Farmer and Woden.
I think we're about 15 minutes away, I think, against North Melbourne. And the Western Bulldogs, we're probably about 10 minutes or 15 minutes away from being a top 4 side. And that's a little bit of maturity, I think, from our younger players. Really happy with our senior players today. Viney, Tingay, Lyon, Steins, these sort of fellas, and to be a really good side, we need to get our youngish sort of players to be able to handle the intensity for 4 quarters.
No more experienced judge of football than David Parkin was making the observation. The Melbourne skill level had risen remarkably. This was a team that could cause havoc in September. Melbourne and Carlton may have been neck and neck at the start, but then the Demons forwards began their assault. Early it was the whiz, Jeff Farmer, who saw off a couple of opponents.
The centre of the ground. Clean bowls a couple of them. Sock it back towards the centre. Scoring is not easy at the moment. Melbourne through McDonald should go forward. Up towards centre half forward. Silvani is at the back and it's an effective spoil. Madden's waiting down, but here he is, the wizard, Jeffrey Farmer. Tumbles the puck. It bounces, and it's a goal.
The ball up 15 metres out from goal. Here's a chance for Gary Lyon. Got the bounce he wanted. Screws it around the corner. Great vision. And finds Leon Challey. Former old Zabs player, along with James McDonald and Anthony McDonald. And from point blank range, he kicks a goal.
Gary Lyon would boot 3 first-half goals. The Demons by 10 points at half-time.
He's not out of it yet, however. Schwartz, ripped to the ground. Again a Carnival. Something up the ground we go. Gary Lyon. Silvani is saying, I got a touch. Gary Lyon will go down as having kicked his 3rd goal early in the 2nd term. Brown also has been very effective. 13 possessions for the Carlton midfielder. Porter wins it. The umpire almost lost his feet there, but he's got to be okay. There's Woden in trouble. Gets out of it. Was able to go again for Melbourne. Down towards the danger zone. Lyon couldn't take it. Sexton was in there. Silvani was grabbed. Holt goes to ground. The pressure's on now. Palmer's away. The wizard, as KB calls him, has kicked another one.
The 3rd quarter would see the blitz, as Parkin has so often called it, the premiership quarter, and David Schwartz would step onto centre stage. If Lyon had kept the Demons in the game, then Schwartz would win it, with 5 goals for the quarter from 6 kicks.
White puts them inside 50. Farmer got a hand at the back. Silvani with strength. Sexton appears to be okay. Out towards McKay. Loses it. Phoebe to Lyon. Lyon for number 5. What a stand by the Demons.
Most games of any present-day player without kicking a goal in AFL football. To White, just his 5th possession for the game. To Leoncelli, runs through the centre square. He's looking for Schwartz. What a great kick. This forward line is working superbly.
Some freedom of space to lead into on the open side of the field.
So Schwartz has got the kicking boot on today. Another goal to the Demons. White again, down to Leoncelli. They've been so good midfield, Melbourne. Viney also a big win in the first half, and here's Neitz. One of this big three-pronged attack. Here's Schwartz again, he's got it. David Schwartz, point-blank range, kicks a goal. Goes to centre-half forward, Whitnell out in front, again Ingerson, his shadow. Hogg has kicked 1 goal today after starting on Farmer. It's all tied up on the front edge of the centre square, under pressure. Melbourne take the ball away, Matthew Fever again, they bomb it long here, Schwartz, he's got it again! This is a 1.25 by David Schwartz.
But at this stage of the game, when certainly the tide's going with Melbourne, he could be used in a negating role to play on one of these tall players in Melbourne's front half.
David Schwartz from right on 50. Distance is there. He's nailed it.
This was the first time since the 4th round that Danaher had the luxury of Lyon, Neitz and Schwartz together in the one side, the big 3. Melbourne's 49-point win was its best over the Blues for 43 years, since June 1955.
His starting points have been good, he's been goal-sided, he's felt him, he's really done the drilled defensive tactic employed in a pleasing aspect for David Parkin.
Neat straight up and down. Smoker in trouble. Brown has the last kick of the day. Neil Danaher can smile.
Schwartz finished with 6, Lyon with 5 and Farmer 3, while Stephen Tingay was again the best player from the goal-kicking stars Lyon and Schwartz. Tingay was cited for charging Peter Dean, but cleared.
You've got to admire Schwartz, who's had 3 reconstructions and had to go back to the 2s and really got himself going again today. And the kick, I think he kicked 5 in the 3rd and just really ripped the game apart, I thought. And look, that's going to give him a lot of confidence. So special mention also got to go to Gary Lyon. I think as each game goes on, he's missed a lot of footy. He just gets better and better each week. And look, he was on a quality player today too. And I thought Gary kept us in the game, and I thought David Schwartz sort of won us the game.
With Gary Lyon, Glenn Lovett and Brent Gergich out of the side and a Port Adelaide side attacking throughout the first half, Melbourne looked in some trouble on this Sunday afternoon engagement. The first half saw Port Adelaide restrict Melbourne to 3 goals. A half-time burst from the coach kick-started the team. In game number 200, Stephen Phoebe picked up more than 30 possessions, and he was the one who responded.
Lockwood with Steins. Steins can't complete the mark, but he's got the footy. Work it through Bishop to Tingay. Matthew Phoebe on the move now. Centering to centre-half forward. Here's a chance, and Schwartz takes the mark. Now, he can kick at the Ox. 52 metres out. Takes a few steps and thumps it long for a goal.
Big kick.
Uze across the ground. Viney. If the Demons can get a goal, they'll be within a kick. Cowell, good running by Matthew Phoebe. He had to wait for the hand pass. Gave an ordinary one to Tingay, who had to give it away blind. Viney, good vision. That was terrific stuff. Got the ball up to James McDonald. And kicked inside the 50. A juggle by Schwartz and a mark. And his 2 kicks in the second quarter were sensational. This starts right, comes back. That is brilliant.
In situations like that, instead of trying to pinpoint your teammate with only a 25 to 30 metre kick, you're better off kicking it long to the tallest target down the field.
Stephen Phoebe. 3-1 Port Adelaide. but none of them could take the mark. Mead with desperation. He let it get behind. Cowell has put the Demons in front.
5 goals in 20 minutes in the third quarter sank the power.
Some marking players down there, Melbourne. But it's the rover, Viney. His hand pass. Lockwood. Mead. Best and fairest in their inaugural year. Well played, Schwartz.
A good balance.
He's got confidence in that knee now, hasn't he? Tingay. Short. Here we go, Viney. 40 metres out. Perfect.
I just reckon the big turnaround for Melbourne has been Jim Steins coming onto the ground. I just felt Matthew Primus had the better of Jeff White. Steins has been very good. He's contained Matthew Primus, and the duel between Stephen Tingay on the wing with Nick Stevens. Stevens had the better in the first half, but Tingay's been great. And of course the skipper, Todd Viney.
Oh, lucky bounce for Rigoni, and he goals.
For the 4th time in 6 road trips, Melbourne would be the winners in 1998. Viney was a great leader, his 3 goals just adding to a best on-field display in his old home city. Up forward, David Schwartz continued to kick goals.
Oh, turn Paxman inside out. Great play, David Schwartz. And he keeps it low. That is beautiful play. Goal, Viney.
Yeah, against Matthew Primus, just holding David Neitz in that contest, certainly without the ball.
Bishop in front. Paxman closes the gap and does the spoiling. Bishop's hand pass. James McDonald goes outside 50. Steins inside 50. Woden a hurried kick for a goal. Neitz palms the ball down to Rigoni. Into Phoebe. Long kick. It's got the distance for a goal.
The Demons kicked 11 second-half goals to 6, and it would be a 23-point win.
Phoebe threads his way through. Good hand pass into Cowell. Darren Cowell kicks another one. Here's Steins. He kicks to Melbourne's half forward. And that was a very good lead by Robertson.
Gee, he kicks the ball well for a big fella, doesn't he, over that short, the 25 to 30 metres.
Stephen Phoebe for another one.
Schwartz 4, Viney and Cowell 3 each, while the skipper was in outstanding form with 15 kicks, 18 hand passes and 7 marks. Phoebe in his 200th was a standout, as was Tingay yet again.
Phoebe brothers really this year have once again established themselves as very good players. 94 they were both very good players for us, but in the years after that they really did struggle for one reason or another. And Stephen especially this year, in his 12th year I think it is at the footy club, has been fantastic. We'll go very close to winning our best and fairest. 13 votes in the Brownlow medal, which was a great effort. He really has found his form and confidence, and running off the half-back line, picking up 30 touches a week has been enormous. Matthew Phoebe has been fantastic too, especially the second part of the year. His hardness at the ball and run has been really important for us. For different people, there were different targets under the MCG lights on the only Monday night fixture of the year. Melbourne was looking for a place in the finals for the first time since 1994. Tony Lockett was looking longingly at the 100-goal mark for the 6th time. Both would come, but not without a struggle. At quarter time, in front of 52,000, Melbourne led by a kick.
Jeff White, who's a young man in a hurry. I think if there was an exception, Cornsey, Stafford with so much skill would probably be it. Down towards McDonald, who can run on here. Can he goal from 25 metres? Yes, he can. 11 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Dale Lewis couldn't take it cleanly. Steins doing the ruck work. Phoebe threads his way through some heavy traffic. Lewis chases. Phoebe goes for home. He tumbles the punt low, and the mark is finally taken by Gary Ryan.
Well, he's a class player. White's off the ground and Steins has come on to replace him.
Lyon for his first for the night. He's done it.
The steal of the night came in the second quarter. Shane Woden doing the damage.
Goes close to the man on the mark. It's stolen by Woden. Shane Woden!
Jeff White, sighting young prospect. Gives it away to Guy Rigoni. Kicked the first goal of the night, Rigoni. Goes down towards half-forward. That was Eggerson. Gives it away to Seacam. An interesting thrust forward. Down towards full forward. Delightful use of the body by Nicks.
The third quarter blew the game apart.
30 metres. He guides it through for Melbourne. And he pumps it.
Mind you, it has been a complete team effort in terms of the commitment and desperation.
Wharf comes over the top to spoil. Cook loses it to Lyon. His short little chip is okay to McDonald. On he goes to Tingay. Tingay enjoys this situation. Sneaks away from Creswell. Into full forward of the Wizard.
Jeff Farmer was aiming at his 100th goal too in league footy. And while he helped seal the game for Melbourne, Big Plugger just kept on waiting. As Melbourne piled on 5 goals, the taste of finals footy was becoming stronger. There was a brief 7-minute interruption while Lockett goaled from a dubious free and was engulfed by fans. It would be Sydney's only moment to savour as Melbourne put their stamp on the game. Schwass kicked 2 final quarter goals, but then Neitz and Robertson stepped in.
I wonder if we can get a replay of that.
Maxfield in trouble, real trouble. Robertson needs a kind spin. It's turning. Yes!
If that wasn't enough to warm the cockles on a cool evening, the Wiz did the rest. Melbourne by 31 points and into 5th spot on the ladder.
He's clear. He gives it to Lyon. It's only got to sit. Melbourne at home. What a passage of play. Just the goal Melbourne needed. Stein sends them forward once again towards these danger players like Farmer. The Wizard says we're home.
Farmer with 4, Neitz 3, McDonald, Lyon and Woden 2 each, while Viney was inspirational, Matthew Phoebe and Tingay outstanding. From the moment Gary Lyon burst onto a loose ball and goaled in the opening minute, it was evident that Melbourne was on fire. 76,000 had been promised a thriller. Richmond had to win to get a finals berth. Melbourne had to win to be assured of escaping cutthroat elimination on week 1. This was the new look, Danaher coached and inspired team of 1998, and it only kept getting better. Farmer was taking screamers. He was kicking goals. He was just everywhere.
Penetrate towards the goal line. Up goes Farmer! That is unbelievable. There has to be a trampoline behind that contest, the way he got up.
There's just no doubting this young player's potential. Have a look at this jump and run and mark. Oh, that would be Cadbury's mark of the year.
That is just all jump.
Have a look at this jump and run and mark. Oh, that would be Cadbury's mark of the year.
That is just all jump. Campbell, a scrambled kick, but Uze takes the mark. And here's his second kick inside the attacking 50. Adam Uze. And it's a great kick.
And he's back out there, leading his club. It's its finest hour. Here they come again. All we've got to do is pick it up. Phoebe swings around. He's got it, Matthew. That's a great shot.
By quarter time, Melbourne led by 5 goals.
White wins in the middle. Woden gets a tough footy out to Stephen Phoebe. He clears the centre square. Viney just knocked a couple out of the way and cleared apart for his teammate. Matthew Phoebe again. 2 in a minute. Flying for marks, but no marks taken. Ben Harrison.
While the Demons' kicking was astray in the second quarter, allowing Richmond to bridge the gap, Melbourne ended the Tigers' hopes with a 6-goal third-quarter barrage.
Holding the ball against Bowden right in front.
And the reason that one has to be paid, Bruce, is that Bowden tried to barge through David Neitz, and in trying to barge through, the ball was dislodged by the tackle. And once the ball is dislodged like that, prior opportunity.
to extend the Demons' lead. No problem. Well, they started the second half just like they started the first.
You reckon it was to the side? The tackle was from the side, but many would say it propelled him forward. Mick, that's why his nose had to do it.
Here's Adamuze bursting for goal and kicking one. Comes to the front, Michael Gale. Shanahan out from the goal square. Gergic spun in the tackle to Uze. Oh, good eyes. Beautiful play, Melbourne. Liancelli a likely hand pass to Seacat. That is brilliant.
And Farmer won out too.
Robertson. Here's Farmer on his own. 30 metres from goal. The Wizard goes in and bangs it home.
If that wasn't enough, in the last quarter, we'd see play like this as the Tigers were buried. David Neitz kicked 3 of the 7 in the final term. Melbourne by 86 points.
Bounces, the boy from Myrtleswood just keeps going. He finds Knights in all sorts of trouble. To Woden. If the D's get the goal here, they've done well. Here's Farmer. They have done well. Farmer, 4 goals to date. 1 in the first, 3 in the third, and now 1 in the last.
There were times when they struggled to keep their hold on him, but he has just been phenomenal this year. And what a confidence boost. 5 goals going into the finals. James McDonald to Ingerson. Away they go again, Liancelli. Neitz is there. Farmer waits at the back. Neitz!
He's lining up for his 3rd goal for this afternoon. They're quality statistics from a forward who's come back from injury. No doubt he'll get better with more match time.
Neitz for goal. He's given him something to think about on the right goal post, but he's got it. Well, he looks as though he's going to have to come off. Harrison wins the hit out. Goes to Uze, who has been absolutely fantastic today. Kicked a couple of goals. Woden.
Yeah, this bloke's been particularly good. I think he set the scene early in the game, did Woden. Matched up against Matty Knights. Hasn't left his side all day. And no one knows Matthew Knights had the impact on a game like he usually does.
Here's a goal coming up. Liancelli to Neitz. Neitz. Gale goes to the bench to finish his season, I'd suggest. And this was 3rd in this last quarter. Looks pretty good.
Neitz and Farmer both kicked 5. Uze and Matthew Phoebe 2 each in the rout. Neitz, Farmer and White the best.
Just the week before we knew that we were in the 8, that we were guaranteed a final spot. But it was the difference between finishing 8th and perhaps not having a double chance, or finishing high as 4th. And it was an important game. We knew that Richmond would be coming out firing because they were fighting for their final spot. As it turned out, it came out that we were really fired up. We'd been talking about it all week, that this was a chance not only just to be a part of the finals process, but to finish high, that we might have a chance at pushing for a premiership. And we came out a fantastic win. It was our first game in front of 76,000 people, so the young guys really did get a taste of what finals footy was all about.
Demons chief Joe Gutnick was beaming today, and not just because of Melbourne's win. Rival president John Elliott made good an earlier bet, pulling on a Melbourne jumper.
Terrible. Embarrassed.
The wager also saw the Blues boss provide $1,000 to charity, in this case the Royal Children's Hospital. Back at the Junction Oval, the Melbourne players had a leisurely walk, having just strolled to September.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been there, since '94, and it's been a dry spell, so we're certainly it's going to be an exciting place to be around here at the moment.
So at the end of the home and away season, the top 8 looked like this. North on top, a game clear of the Bulldogs, a further game clear of Sydney, with Melbourne level on points in 4th spot. From Wooden Spooners in 1997, the club had catapulted up the ladder a record 12 spots. Below Melbourne were last year's grand finalists, Adelaide and St Kilda, destined to be the Demons' first 2 finals adversaries. There were 60,000 at the MCG for Melbourne's first final since 1994. Many spruiked one vital statistic. In the 6 matches Melbourne's key forwards Gary Lyon, David Neitz and David Schwartz had played together, they were unbeaten. This would be another electrifying beginning. One that had the reigning AFL premiers rattled. Jeff Farmer not only ran rings around the Norm Smith medalist Andrew McLeod, but he kicked 3 first-quarter goals on him to add insult to injury.
The roar goes around the MCG.
Just interesting to see here this match-up with McLeod on Farmer, how long Blight will actually keep McLeod in that part of the ground. As we know, he's a quality midfielder.
The roar will tell the story at the MCG.
Yes, Peter, it's interesting to see Adelaide going with the one forward down there, starting with Modra in the square, one out, and now they've got Jarman down there, and down the other end they've got 4 options deep in that 50-metre area for Melbourne. Very different forward styles.
Goodwin, Connell, McLeod and Allen combined to get the ball towards centre wing. It's as far as it's going. Ingerson, as we said, against his old club. Leon Cherry from midfield. One of the stars of the Demons midfield. Lyon with a hand on it, recovers well. The veteran goes at goal, and he has kicked it. Melbourne second.
Played a handful of games with Collingwood. Kicks back towards centre-half forward Sean Wren. May have got a shove out. Gurgic did it well. The youngster to Tingay, a transfer of play. Schwartz on the edge of the centre square. Melbourne's got the runners. Schwartz is looking for Neitz. Out in front. Great kick, great defensive play by Stevens. Lyons pounced on it, trying to get the ball back. Farmer around the corner. This is going to bounce through.
To second. Mark Stevens in the right back pocket for Adelaide. Defending Farmer McLeod matchup. The Norm Smith medalist and the wizard Rigoni. Here's Farmer again. Can he get his third? He can. 3 for the corner. Jeff Farmer, you are a wizard.
Jeff White was again given the awesome task of not only negating Crow giant Sean Wren, but of jumping over the top of him. A job he handled like a veteran. Melbourne's 6 first-quarter goals were bolstered by 3 more in the second quarter. By half-time, the Demons led by 34 points.
I think he'd go the other side of the ground because Jeff White, his opponent, is going to compete for this mark.
So he kicks to a pack of players, and here comes White. Should take the grab. McCormick. Well, take 2 for Jeff White. He's going to have another crack at him. Maybe a bit further out, again into the square. This has got plenty on it. What a goal.
Marsh outleapt by Jeff White. Huge punch. Leon Cherry and Bickley. Bickley gets a push. His opponent gets the footy. Still Leon Cherry from 50. Low right drop pull.
Cave into the full forward position, and Rashudo's playing in the conventional centre-half forward spot.
David Neitz kicked 4 third-quarter goals, more than enough to set up victory.
McLeod nearly, Viney, he's got him. Lyon, good hand pass. Matthew Phoebe, dummies, Jarman nearly gets him. Back to Stephen Phoebe, squares the ball, goes over the head of Jeff White if that's possible. Now he takes the hand pass from Rigoni. The Ox is back on the ground. Schwartz, long bomb, looks for Neitz and finds him in front of Stevens. Now can Neitz cap it off. Distance won't be a problem for him. 35 metres out, about a 60-degree angle. He's got the goal.
Viney has been magnificent today, leading from the front. Woden, underrated player. Kicks down towards Farmer. He's got James the beat. Clever play. Gives it across to Phoebe. Rockets the ball to Schwartz. Bangs it through.
What about the skills of Farmer?
Liptak, as we suggested, coming off the ground, and Curls will have some information on that injury in just a moment. Yep.
Peter, just a quick one on Matthew Liptak. It's a pretty sad sight. He's done his hamstring, and it looks like that could be the end of his season, but also it could be the end of his career. An excellent career by Matthew Liptak for the Crows, but a sad sight.
Thanks, Fly. Woden up to Neitz. Hart was in the road. Farmer finds space and snaps. Magnificent goal!
This was Melbourne at its very best, streaming out of the centre, selecting options, and there were plenty, and kicking goals. The win by 48 points was a landmark.
Of Melbourne, kicks a high ball, Neitz! And usually this distance wouldn't trouble David Neitz. From 55 metres out. Unloads both barrels.
Well, it's all over bar the shouting. Not too much of that left in the quarter.
Big pack of players on centre wing. Woden. One bounce. Two bounces. Lyndon Stevens gives chase. Woden's kick up to half forward and Farmer could take the mark. But appropriately, he's got the footy as the siren goes. Melbourne, in its first finals appearance since 1984 and won. That's not Joe Gutnick, but a Joe Gutnick look-alike. And they'll be singing long and hard in the club rooms tonight.
Farmer and Neitz both kicked 6, while Gary Lyon kicked 2. White was judged best afield for his ruck dominance from Farmer and Neitz.
It was a great chance for us. We'd gone into this game with our full list available. And then when Jeff Farmer took that screamer in the first quarter, we said, yeah, it's going to be our day. Went back and I think kicked the goal, and we just got away to a great start, and they never really got within cooey of us. It was, I think, 48 points or nearly 50 points win. So I think after that game we started to feel like, well, we're playing really good footy and we can go the whole way.
He's a demon who's waiting on an injury. Melbourne has named veteran Gary Lyon at full forward for its clash with St Kilda, but a calf injury could yet keep him out.
I had treatment this morning, I have another one today, and we'll get out there tomorrow. I had it fully tested, I did a little bit last night, but tomorrow will be the D-Day, I guess.
While Lyon treads carefully, teammate and Demon captain Todd Viney is in the fast lane. John Faulkner giving him a taste of V8 action in the build-up to Sunday's Sandown 500.
I don't think I've ever been that nervous, so put it that way. I think I feel more comfortable playing finals than going around in the car, 300 k's an hour.
With the Demons red hot going into this game, in particular Jeff Farmer, St Kilda has a task on its hands. The job of keeping Farmer fenced in, the Saints have given to Stephen Ziller. St Kilda has been bolstered with the return of Justin Peckett from illness and Darryl Wakeland from suspension.
We know we're playing a side who's, red hot and everything like that, but we're playing in the final. We can't ask any more than that.
The withdrawal of Gary Lyon because of his niggling calf injury was not the ideal start to the Demons' first semi-final against St Kilda for nearly 30 years, nor was their early inaccuracy. 1 goal from the first 6 scoring shots. With 1-8 on the board and St Kilda not looking like the grand final side of 97, Melbourne cut loose. 5 second-quarter goals bursting the game open at its seams.
Wonder, don't you? Sometimes I saw a young fella penalised the other Friday night, 1 in a whole game of footy. Well, this is Todd Viney getting his second kick, little one, not bad either. Well marked here by Phoebe. Stephen Phoebe, left foot kick out wide, and Tingay, they're starting to get a bit of it. The boys that have been a big part of Melbourne's performances over the whole of 1998. Phoebe again in the middle of the ground. Schwartz will go for a big bomb. Doesn't get onto it. Farmer's on the end of it, though, and he's marked just away from Justin Peckett.
Within 7 minutes of the second quarter, it would be the Wiz who weaved his magic.
You must play in front. Farmer going for his second goal. He's got it.
Low on the turn to centre half forward. Heatley. Well done, Shanahan. But he missed with the punch. Seacamp to Shanahan, to Cowell. Darren Cowell out in front of Neitz. Great lead, magnificent kick. Farmer breaks from the goal square. Not the best of kicks for him, but it falls luckily for him. Farmer for his 4th for the quarter.
Oh, great play.
Unselfish. Great play. Who's over the goal?
What about the vision of Farmer?
Yeah, and you're right there, Drew, and that's what St Kilda really got to reconstruct something at half-time. They're no way out of this ball game at all on the scoreboard.
What gets through? Tingay charges and goals!
17 points up at half-time, the Demons would move 29 points clear by the final break. Anthony Ingerson was superb at centre half-back. Jamie Shanahan was miserly against his old teammates, especially Stewie Lowe, and Guy Rigoni had the distinction of matching Robert Harvey on points. Out of the middle, Stephen Tingay and the Phoebe twins kept the supply up to their forward line, while Jeff White was just magnificent in the ruck.
Rookie coach Neil Danaher pondering perhaps a preliminary final berth next week for the team that ran last year. Rigoni hacks it out of the air. It goes Melbourne's way again. Schwartz grabbed, didn't have it. Free kick Schwartz. He takes his own advantage. This could be another goal for the Demons. David Schwartz, great play. What a pity the kick. Still in the field of play.
Still there, Seacamp and Ingerson. They've combined pretty well. They've been lousy across that half-back line. And the marker's taken out there by Anthony McDonald. Wider still to Cowell. Cowell for the Demons. He's just forward of the wing. He'll kick it to within scoring distance. Just inside his forward 50. The ball knocked to the front of the pack. James McDonald goes back to Rigoni. Oh, there's a mark here. Well, this is going to be a sorry sight for Saints fans if he can capitalise. It's a good kick. 9th goal for the Demons.
This would be Stan Elves' last game as St Kilda coach. The former Melbourne skipper devastated by his side's dismal showing. In the last quarter, as St Kilda lay in tatters, Melbourne piled on 6 goals.
He has a week to look up at his options. To the 50. Oh, Neats. You can't mark a wet ball like that. Off to Robertson. Robertson from 49. What a goal! Lowe had a chance to take clean possession. Young's hand pass too slick for Thompson. Thompson centres the ball to Peckett. Another slight fumble. He loses it in the tackle. Terrific tackle by Schwartz. Beebe, the hand pass to Johnston. Travis Johnston, 47 metres out. Yubani!
Well, St Kilda still struggling to clear their last line of defence. It's going to go bouncing back in again. Phoebe in towards half forward. Winmar up high, couldn't take the mark. Knocked down to the path of Peckett, but robbed by Schwartz. Little kick by Rigoni was good, wasn't it? The vision was there.
You know, even though the game's only got 13 minutes of play, there's a lot of personal pride for each individual St Kilda player.
Well, Woden will be happy here if he can convert. Have a look at this. That looks like it might be a free kick to Johnston. Away to Schwartz. He'll have a go, won't he, David Schwartz? Kicks it across the square, into the pocket. No mark taken. Wakeland in strife. And still there for the Demons. They're just trying very hard to get this ball clear. Robertson gets the handball back. Todd Viney. Snapshot for goal by Todd Viney. And that was just drink.
Last 2 times these teams have met, St Kilda have won both. Heatley's kicked 5 and 7. He never played at full forward today.
Robertson trying to just sneak into that goal-scoring situation. Still a chance for Melbourne. Anthony McDonald, can he get one? Late in the game. Flying shot at goal, and it's going to be marked by Woden, and he'll go in and get one.
Melbourne by 51 points with Farmer's second quarter explosion turning the game.
Now, we felt very confident going into it, but there was always St Kilda in terrible form. Had won 1 of their last 7, I think, and we knew that they were too good a team to keep playing badly. We were expecting a real tough game. As it turned out, it rained early in the game, which made things pretty hard. We went in once again with a tall forward line, hoping that we could really kick a lot of goals. But I think up to half-time, we were 2 goals down, I think, at half-time. Things were a bit of a struggle. We were really fighting our bums off. So second half came in and we got on a bit of a roll and then ran over the top of them. I think their confidence started to drop down a little bit after half-time, and after Barry Hall went berserk, I think we seemed to get a little bit of a lift.
I've said it all along, I reckon we're playing as good as any side left in this competition. So, you know, we've got a lot of respect for the North Melbourne Footy Club. I think they're coached by a terrific coach in Dennis Pagan. They've obviously got Wayne Carey in terrific form, and their game plan is a pretty tough one to crack. So, you know, we're going to have to play well to beat them.
As Ashley Brown wrote in the Melbourne Age, this could have been the greatest fairy tale in football, but at Arden Street they don't have much time for Mother Goose. Or for wizards, for that matter.
See, I hope they haven't made the decision for the Cadbury Mark of the Year yet, because that wins it.
What a way to start this match.
Melbourne again started with a flurry, but again their lacklustre kicking, albeit under fierce pressure, let them down. 9 first-quarter scoring shots were converted into 3 goals. North 4 from 5. It would be a telling statistic.
He had to play defensively, and Cow turned him inside out and runs with 3 bounces and kicks to centre half forward. Schwartz front spot, McCartney at the back, ball comes to ground. Matthew Phoebe onto it. Matthew Phoebe kicks the goal. Kicks the goal.
Todd Viney not known as a real long kick.
The breeze is going in favour of Todd Viney here, Robbo. The breeze will go from his left right across the goal square.
Okay, thanks, Dip. Viney kicks to the square. Can we see a big mark here? Schwartz in front. Woden! He's been paid the mark. He was 4th in line. They've got a goal through Matthew Phoebe, and this goal, maybe, through Woden, will put them in front. He kicks the goal.
When David Neat's goal just before half-time from outside 50, they still had a chance. Down by 8 points against the best team in the competition.
Lions kick the goal. So Cow just forward to centre wing.
David Kidd coming off for North Melbourne.
Kicks to centre half forward. McCartney decided not to mark. Belts, but Rigoni's got it. Rigoni 60 metres out, puts it in high. Martin and also Neats. Neats couldn't quite get it. Tingay goes. Tingay will kick a goal. He does. Scores 11. Gets it across to McDonald. Martin was able to hold it up. Pickett picked it up brilliantly, but kicks it badly. But Tingay couldn't quite, and Pike can break with 1 bounce. Cow goes to him. He'll go over the top to Harvey. No, he doesn't. Goes straight in the McKernan direction. Well played, Ingerson. Waiting for it, Harvey. Probably should have taken it. Belts it forward. McKernan might get a go. Cow hangs on. Well played, Cow. Very well played. Magnificently done as he wins a couple of battles there. And Steins has got it. This will be a big play to McDonald, to Seacamp. Seacamp through the centre. Little kick wide. Neats has got it. He can thump the footy, Neats. Now Farmer goes. Doesn't use him. Decided not to. Still Scott and Farmer are 1 out. What footy by Cowell at half-back. It was stirring stuff. Well, he's nearly got to kick the goal now. He's held it up so long.
But 19 players on the ground for 3 seconds. North then.
Tries a torpedo punt. It's going to be a mark. Was it touched? Was it touched or is it a goal? It's a goal.
It says something for the North defence that they allowed Melbourne only 12 goals for the match. And something else. The 12 goals came from 12 different goal kickers. 73,000 saw Melbourne bow out of the finals race. The Demons would finish the season in 4th place, up 12 spots, and no team in league history had managed that type of jump before.
And it's to the advantage here of Melbourne. The hand pass by Phoebe sets it up for Rigoni. Rigoni can go short. He's got a player running in support. He's got to force the shepherd. He does. Rigoni 3 bounces. No one to kick to. He'll go for goal. Go Rigoni! A great goal! Equals Marcus Seacamp.
To Phoebe. Wide. Finds Robertson who kicked the last goal. Is it centre wing? Hits the deck almost. Gets his kick into centre half forward. Can someone finally take a mark? Martin has just been superb. Back to Leon Cheli, who puts it home. We'll kick 2 in a row. Appropriate, really, 8 marks for Mickey. Appropriate that he's probably going to have the last say in this match. North have had some great players tonight, but nobody better than this man.
Well, Neats has been in red-hot form.
And he has closed him completely. Mickey kicks to centre wing. North are nearly there. They are there. The last Saturday in September. It's a good sport, Gary Lane.
There would be no multiple goal kickers for Melbourne, with Tingay continuing his outstanding form through the final series. Woden, 19 kicks and 9 marks capping a great season. There would be one more moment to savour for Melbourne's faithful. At the Grand Hyatt Ballroom a couple of weeks later, Jim Steins said his farewell after 264 games.
Footy's probably been the biggest challenge of my life. It's really, every week there's a new challenge in it, and it's a funny thing. It's only when you play well and you win that you actually feel good in this game, and I've had a lot of those days, and I would just like to, so it's, for me, I need to be doing that, and I've realised that that time was coming. I sort of was talking with the guys, and I said it's a bit, the last week has been a bit like I've been given a hacksaw, and I've got to cut my hand off to survive, type of thing. And I've been looking at this thing and trying to cut, and I sort of found it really difficult to do. But now I've been able to deal with it and understand it, and I've realised now inside that it is time to move on. And I had a coach, John Nordy, who said to me, Jim, if you can leave footy without any regrets, then you'll be very, very happy. And while I'm sad that I didn't win a premiership, because you sort of think when you start playing, if you play for 10 or 12 years, you think you'll probably win one. Well, I haven't won one, and it is very disappointing for me, but I've had a lot of great experiences, and some of the best things in my life have happened at this football club. And I just want to say to all the other guys out there, all my teammates, particularly those who are really young, it will come and go like that. And don't leave this game without any regrets. And do whatever you can and do whatever you have to do to get the most out of yourself. And if a premiership comes along, then you're a very lucky person. And there's one thing that I know that will never happen for me, and I can't turn that and I can't change it, but I've been very privileged, and I'd like to thank obviously a lot of people who I've spoken to in the last week, particularly Sam, my girlfriend, who's had to cop it all for a week. It's been really tough. And my parents were here, which was good. And I'd just like to finally just thank the club for giving me an opportunity of a lifetime. Thank you.
Every heart beats true for the red and the blue.
I do a couple of footy shows with the great Dermot Brereton, and each week you get introduced to the audience and to the people around the place, and it's always Dermot Brereton, 5 times premiership player, and Gary Lyon, former Melbourne captain or best and fairest winner, or whatever it is. I know which one I prefer.